How's it going, everyone? And welcome to another episode of No Excuses on YouTube.com. The favorite show hosts are still
Bernarian.
And Vorsal, and we're here to bring you latest news and commentary on the video games industry for the week that was, or at least we're going to have to do so instead of me having a week, because I haven't done anything all week.
There was a lot of screaming this week, so we're good.
Yeah. Anyway, if you'd like to get involved with the show, you can do so by sending us email at noexcusesvtw@gmail.com, or you can follow us on the Twitter at noexcusesvtw, or you can join us in our Discord server, where you can chat to the show hosts and other listeners to the show, and that's probably the easiest way to actually contact us, generally speaking, since we're always around. But, yeah, you can get there by clicking on the link provided underneath the show archive on YouTube.
Yes, indeedy. So,
come join us, talk to us. You can check the MMO channel and see my Galaxy Brain discovery. Something is totally intentional.
Oh dear. So on the stream today, we're doing a bit more Bozja in Final Fantasy XIV, and that's basically what my week has been. I just kind of decided, you know what? Screw it. I need a money-making scheme. So I sat down and hammered Botanist all the way up to 88. I haven't finished it quite yet.
You can make money that way.
That's step one.
Honestly, the better step is learn how to do the Gabriel duel and just get 99 lock boxes and hope you pull some nice stuff from it.
Yeah.
Can I register us for Fires of War? No. Oh, Baj's popping again today.
Oh, yeah. Oops, actually, I'm on the wrong class. I need to change to Dark Knight, which is the other bit of content I've been grinding. I also went and got myself a bit of Tombstone gear. So, I finally got my Dark Knight to level 71, and I'm slowly getting the hang of tanking, but tanking has never been something I've been comfortable with.
Well, they've made it relatively easy in this game.
Yeah.
Compared to how it used to be. Mind you, it was always through most of the history of the game, it's been relatively easy for Dark Knight, although there have been times where Dark Knight had a really high skill ceiling.
Yeah. But basically,
much to the dismay of their...
Yeah.
Much to the dismay of big fans of the Dark Knight, they've dramatically simplified the game mechanics for the class compared to what it once was.
Yeah, if you were to read the impressions people have of Dark Knight, you would think they're abuse victims.
Yeah. Mind you, I've played Machinist for the last 2 expansions, so I'm right there.
Well, the problem with Machinist is not really the mechanics are complicated so much as the number of buttons that you're required to hit is a bit unfair.
I'm so used to playing Machinist, every other class feels like I'm just not pressing enough buttons. It's kind of weird, actually.
We can address a little bit of Machinist when we go into the patch stuff.
Yeah. But that's basically been my week, is just grinding through that. Grinding through one of the gathering, or 2 of the gathering professions anyway, mining and botany, is basically you get to level 10, level 20, and then you just go into the diadem. And you don't come out.
See, I didn't know about the diadem when I did my grind. I wish I did.
Yeah.
I missed this part in my research on what to do, as in my no research at all.
Yes. So, yeah, basically it's a zone set aside and specifically there for you to grind your gathering. That's the whole point.
What's the scaling on this fate?
There were like 3 people right by it when it popped, including myself, while I was gathering up these mobs I'm killing.
Yeah.
So it's scaled pretty good. I'll come over and help you bop it. I was just murderizing a whole bunch of things.
I'm just gonna keep on AoEing the crap out of everything.
That's okay, that's what Rampage is for.
So yeah,
so
after I'm convinced that Flamethrower does any damage.
It is probably the worst ability in maybe top 10 in the game, honestly. Top 5, definitely.
So just for context on how much AoE damage we're doing here, every cast of my Lost Rampage, my big AoE I'm doing, is doing 5,600 damage a hit. So use that to scale your numbers for how bad flamethrower is.
Well, I don't see any numbers come up when I use it at all. That's the thing.
Well, that's pretty bad then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
I'm clearly using it wrong somehow. But yeah,
Maybe
I'm not
that's
really
scratched
sure.
up. So yeah, I've done a little bit of group contents with the Dark Knight. I did go into try the roulettes alone the other day, and then just kind of spun trials and got I got Knights of the Round again. Ugh. Honestly,
Fine.
yeah, Knights of the Round. It should be one of the coolest bit of content in the game, but
Story mode needs some help.
story mode needs help. It's so tedious. And as you showed the other day, it is damn near impossible to die in there.
It is possible to die though,
Yes, if you get enough overlapping AoEs hit you simultaneously.
and
you
I'm
can
pretty
manage.
sure one or two of them crit you, if that's even possible.
Oh, why is everything exploding? Oh, good grief. What is going on here?
Where's main
Alright.
dude? I can't find him.
Where is main dude?
Hang on, I'm
Oh, you can't target him right now. Okay.
Oh,
No wonder I
is,
can't find his nameplate.
is he the source of the explodies?
I'm just over here taking a bunch of dudes for a walk.
Oh, never mind, it's done.
I got a bronze.
Now, where is my holster? Because I need to be using one of these, a Martialist. That's better. Since we kind of hit the ground running.
Yeah, I should have plenty of Zone 1 stuff queued up from the stuff we've been killing.
Yeah.
Or stuff I've been killing while y'all been doing fates.
The only other things I've done really is I've started picking away at the squadron missions again. Squadrons.
I do them and I don't think about them at all.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go in there, I'll set one and I'll forget it. I can't be bothered dealing with them personally.
Yeah. And
There
that's,
is a tool that you can use to optimize your success rate. It will tell you do this sequence of trainings and then deploy them.
I might start using that because
You could do that, or you could just throw them at the get me more VIP cards for the Gold Saucer mission over and over and over again.
I don't have.
I use them to farm up battle manuals because I'm still leveling.
Yeah.
So I have 54 battle manuals at the moment.
So yeah, there's uses for them, but they are just a bad bit of content.
Yeah, well, they've talked variously about improving it, but it's just not a high priority to resurrect it.
Yeah. Maybe there's some narrative reason that the Grand Company's become relevant again. They might, but
Fern turned tank stance off.
oh, all right, fine.
You don't want to be tanking this one.
I can't even remember what this thing does. I know we saw it the other day.
He's the laser dude,
Yep.
Oh, right, great.
which describes about 50% of the bosses here, but
Frankly, yes.
You're on mine duty, by the way, with me.
Okay, what do we do? Just run around and step on the mines?
When he
you
spawns
nuzzle
mines,
them affectionately.
you
Snuggle
find
mines.
one mine singular and step on it. Do not step on two or you will die.
Right. Alright, let's smack him. Do. But yeah, there's like... It's honestly very hard to find a bit of Final Fantasy XIV I would just say is straight up bad. Squadrons is about it.
Well,
There's Basha.
it's a defunct
There's,
feature.
there's Eureka as well.
Pagos,
Pagos.
everybody's favorite.
Everyone loves Eureka. Oh wait,
Oh,
Wasn't
yeah.
paying attention.
I was watching the wrong
Oh.
counters. Nope, that was
There it goes.
wrong.
I almost followed the group
Don't do
because
that.
I was like, "Huh, surely they know what they're doing, right?" Right?
No, we don't.
No, they do not.
There we go. Now I remember.
The
how
mob
that
wouldn't
works.
lead me astray.
I'll put a danger Dorito on my head. Although,
Dorito? Oh no.
please tell me another guy's got that one. Okay, good. Just follow the danger Dorito.
Danger Dorito.
Usually when I follow you, bad things happen to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying I won't screw it up. I just have a better than the mob's chance of getting it right. It's still you're at about a 75% chance.
Let's see, that's 2.
But you won't-
That's
you won't.
2. We're going over here.
This one is the safe one. Follow the Dorito.
Alright. Honestly, that's really been my week. The other bit of content I've been consuming this week is I'm stuck in the Hololive rabbit hole still. I don't think
Every time
I'm
he
getting
pokes
out
his
of
head-
I don't want to stay there too long.
Every time he pokes his head out, I just use my foot and push him right back down.
Yeah, it's kind of disconcerting.
But
especially when-
I once more had a vision of Scar saving Mufasa.
Yeah.
Long live the king.
Along the king, chuck him off a cliff. Yeah.
This one is the safe one. Come to the Dorito.
The trick is finding where the... Whoop. Not there. Because he doesn't want to melee people smacking him while he's doing his lasers, apparently.
I think he just targets that on somebody, and somebody was on top of him.
Yeah, why did I just... I just pressed the wrong button entirely. I didn't mean to do that. Fine. Be like that. Have Living Shadow.
Is there a difference between using reassemble for drill and for air anchor?
No. All Reassemble does is guarantee a crit. But effectively, their damage is the...
Danger Dorito's getting whacked.
Danger Dorito got it wrong! Oh no!
But Danger Dorito was popping a mine, so it wasn't in the right spot when it started, because poor Agudine over here went to pop it with me, and he
Ooh.
was in the tank, and he died.
Metal rank
Uh-oh.
up. I'm going back to the boss.
In the camp, you mean?
Yeah, boss dude in camp. Whatever his name is.
My metal is still lower than it was when I started last week.
This is why I find it's important to bank it while you can.
Well, it's, you keep the rank up, I think?
You do.
I've never downranked and I've lost a lot of metal.
Wait,
Yeah, you can't
why did I go
downrank.
to Camp Steve? I don't want to go to Camp Steve.
Come Camp Steve.
No, the last camp is, like, called Camp Steva or something, so it's Camp Steve.
I always think of it as that artificial sweetener.
Oh,
Or is it a
Stevia?
natural sweetener? It's a natural
Nah,
sweetener, right?
It's I think it's artificial.
I think Splenda's artificial.
Splendor
Splendor
is.
is.
No, I'm not talking about Splendor. Though.
The problem
I'm
is
talking about
it's
stevia.
the
I thought
artificial-
stevia was like a plant or something, wasn't it?
Oh, we don't.
Stevia.
Stevia. The problem with artificial sweeteners
the
is a lot
natural
of them will
sweetener.
claim to be natural.
It is a natural. It's from a plant
Right.
called Stevia reboundiana from Paraguay.
Paraguay.
But yeah, I've never liked the taste of anything with stevia in it. It always tastes wrong to me.
You should try xylitol, which is a very odd crystalline sweetener. But you eat something with that stuff in it, and you get this really strange coolness feeling in your mouth. It's really odd.
I went to Camp Steve and there's nobody here, and I feel really alone now.
Oh, I didn't mean to go to Camp Steve.
Oh, I thought you said we were definitely trying to go there.
No, I said I didn't know why I went to Camp Steve. It was a mistake.
It was a wrongness. There's also a camp over here I need to quickly go and tap, because I didn't tap it when I was over here earlier. Run away from the snacks! Oh wait, I can't go in here yet.
Yeah,
I've
about
just
to say-
got a memory of the dying.
That's poopy.
Oh, that's because I'm murdering Rubbits in Zone 1.
I'm just gonna run away over here then.
I've got 29 yellows, 31 blues, and 28 greens, and 0 reds.
Once Fern unlocks Zone 3, we can go ham on Zone 3.
Yeah, we can unlock ourselves our resistance weapons proper.
Yeah, but the problem is I'm never going to finish any of them. Because time-worn artifacts.
Yeah.
Also,
I literally have enough of everything else to finish all my artifact weapons, except for Time War artifacts, and I'm so far behind on those that I need like 11 weapons worth of Time Worn artifacts. They're just so hard to get compared to everything else. Okay, just gonna wait on everything to respawn.
Yep. Or do you want to come up here and do this fate?
Oh, C's up.
Oh, that works.
What were we talking about?
Right, that's honestly about all I've got for my week. It's been Final Fantasy and it's been Hot Alive, and I think I'm
Oh man,
feeling
Fern, you're gonna make me stretch my week.
I honestly am, but I don't think you've got much of a week either, do you?
I've got some. Well, most of it I don't want to talk about yet because the gaming I did do was the new patch in Final Fantasy, and I don't want to do that until both you and Vol have done everything, so we can talk about it all at once.
Which
Yeah,
will
well, I don't know when I'm going to have time for that. I'm in a rough spot right now. I gotta say. So
yeah.
Oh, I can talk about the paladin stuff anyway.
mechanics is fine because it's not gated behind anything. But I don't want spoilers or anything. It's been hard enough to avoid them since they're all over freaking YouTube.
I haven't watched any Final Fantasy stuff on YouTube because I don't want to spoil it.
Well, the thing is that I normally watch people's commentary on various aspects of the game, like in the between patches times. But that means that the algorithm thinks I really want to know all the spoilers from the new patch every time a patch comes out.
Yep.
And so I have to like furiously dismiss videos that are being recommended to me and stuff. Same thing happens with FGO. Every time a new Lost Belt comes out in Japan, I've got to like smoosh all of my things.
I've already been, because of YouTube recommendations, I've been spoiled on a boss from Lost Belt 7. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I don't think I've been spoiled on. I don't think I know that I was spoiled on one thing, but I've actually forgotten what it was because I decisively didn't think about it at all. So now I don't remember it. I'm going to stop thinking about it. Oh, right. I'm going to stop thinking about it now in case my efforts to recall it cause it to respawn in the back of my mind. But yeah, I've been trying to get rid of all that stuff because I watch a lot of FGO videos on strategy, but I don't want story ones.
Yeah,
the algorithm can't tell the difference.
I got a Kukulane Solo's major lore character video for Lost Belt 7. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess that's a thing that's happening.
What's the attack called with this one that goes like front and back, side to side, and in what order?
I don't know what it's called, but he has a specific animation for it where it looks like he's about to hit those sides. You'll know it after he does it once.
Yeah.
After I get killed by it, I'll know.
Yeah, after you get whacked by it once. If you survive, you'll know what it looks like.
I won't survive. I'm a machinist.
You gotta believe.
Yeah. Honestly, for the next expansion, Machinist could really do with some sort of like survival support ability.
You've got Tactician.
A better one. Everyone's got Tactician under a different name.
An actual one.
An actual one. Grip of Poison.
I don't think it's that one. That doesn't sound right. Helen Wings. That sounds.
That's it.
That's the side
But
to side.
which one's first?
Side to side, and then you go front to back. There you go.
Yeah.
He one-shot me. Good grief. I'm so bad at this.
I'm gonna eat his face.
Oh, fortunately, I missed out on this particular everybody's favourite phase of this fight.
You gotta lure the hand to the middle and then freeze it by looking at it.
Yep.
And then let the unicorn kill it.
He's a good friend, Unicorn. Huh.
Damn
Gotta
it.
get that vulnerability stack.
Most underwhelming ability name of all time.
Oh, we got straight into a second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeet.
Yee. Oh, I don't have one apparently. Okay.
Yeah, you can only drop like 28 of them, and if there's more than 28 people or something, he just runs out of people to drop them on it.
It runs out of hands.
He only has so many hands.
Gotta do them hands. Uh-oh.
He got 6 hands.
Can Queen take damage?
No.
I don't think so. Yeah, you can see the glowy bits on the ground where it's going to go off, and then you just move to where the glowy bits hit. For the
Come
first hit rolls.
on, man!
Yeah, the beauty of Queen is she'll just ignore basically everything and just wail on the boss for a little bit. She can't be interrupted or damaged or anything like that. She just...
Oh, Fern, you totally did have a claw.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you have a claw debuff on you. If you get hit again, you're dead.
Huh. When did that happen?
Just Final Fantasy things. I like how all the people who died from the AoE this time are all standing in a safe spot, except they're all dead.
The Baying of the Hounds is the next one.
Yep, I spawned that one. Unable to register. One or more of your party members is incapacitated. I remember my Phoenix downs this time. Probably not.
Probably not.
Yep, totally dead. Oh, Vol got a res anyway.
Alright. And that's back over there. Okay.
Well, they get teleported, so.
Yeah.
Ben's not up to Castrum yet, right?
Yeah, Fern's not up to Castrum.
No, I'm not.
Castrum yet.
It's like rank 10.
I don't want to do Cast. Yeah, something like that. I don't want to do Castrum with this many people in a clown show anyway.
But you love leading Castrums full of people.
I hate large group Castrums. I've grown more comfortable leading small group Castrums and can do it very well.
I
Small group
feel like
Castrums,
about 12 is the ideal number in my experience.
12, I can still solo a hallway on White Mage.
Yeah. Alright, I think I'm done about for my week, so that's basically it. Vol, do you actually have anything at all?
I can stretch, but I'll need to stand in a safe place to do it. And I'm currently surrounded by goobies and things.
Teleport to the sea.
Yeah.
No, I'm
You'll be just
nearly at
surrounded by goobers instead.
the sea is like the least safe place that I could go.
I mean,
Oh, it's the doggo one.
It's
The
the
doggo
doggo
one's
one.
going to roast me. Sooner or later, I won't be paying attention when the fireballs appear, and they'll wreck me.
that's okay.
It's
Just
all
go
That's
for your
okay.
week. We'll pick you off the ground.
The hitbox is
Somebody-
bullshit anyway. It'll probably hit you regardless.
right. So my week's functionally non-existent because of the amount of work that I've had lately. So yeah, because I'm now the manager we're in a difficult position at present. So basically, I don't have enough warm bodies to keep things working the way I want. So everybody is working very hard to make up the shortfall in staff. It's rough, but we are sort of... I feel like we're maybe like 1 or 2 hires away from stability, and then if we get another hire on top of that, then will people be able to start going leave again. And generally speaking, economic projections are that the hiring market will start to get stronger in February, particularly because people are going to start looking for jobs again. The economy is garbage, so people are going to want to look for jobs where they have previously slacked off. Unfortunately, because we have a very, very over-generous welfare state in New Zealand, lots of people just don't work because they don't feel like it, and that's just the way it is. So yeah, I mean, those people, you don't really want them anyway, manner of speaking, because they're not the sort of people you need to keep your business operating. But yeah, it's still a nuisance. We're trying to hire people, but it's not something that you have control over in a sense, because if hiring somebody who's crap is worse than not hiring somebody at all,
Yeah.
because they still want paying. But yeah,
Balls.
so oh my goodness me, so the video games has basically been a thing that I have not done this week. Instead, I've been having meetings with staff that I can trust on how we can arrange things that are going to make the place continue to function, which means a lot of late nights at work for me, and I've got to start doing things like building the rosters and making plans for the future. But everything is in service of a future where I can go home on time. And I can see a path there. I can see a way to bring that future about. The issue is just getting enough warm bodies on deck to do it. But it's not an impossible thing to do. It's just going to be a very challenging one. But yeah, I signed up for this. So for better or for worse, I certainly can't trust somebody else to do it. So sometimes you just gotta knuckle down and do it yourself. Yeah, so having really not participated in my video games, I don't have much to talk about on that front. Even Gacha, like I'm way behind on the Saber Wars. Oh, carked it. I'm way behind on the Saber Wars rerun, which honestly probably won't present much of a problem because for Saber Wars specifically, my roster is ridiculously strong. Like I have the ideal setups for every node. I can 3-turn farm anything in this event. So if I can get maybe tomorrow afternoon, if I spend some time on it, I'll be able to get all caught up. The problem is that it has lots of challenge quests. Fortunately, those challenge quests were designed with an environment where there is no Castoria in mind. So they're probably not going to be balanced for it, and I'll be able to romp through them once I come up with a Castoria team to do them. Because that anti-purge defense is serious business. In Pinecone, I had too much to drink and I started pulling for Magical Kasumi, and I got her in about 150 pulls, I think. So less than a spark. I don't really need her because I'm not very competitive at that game. I don't really try very hard in PvP, and she's pretty much a hard lock on PvP. But I enjoyed the story, and while I have not heretofore thought of myself as a sadist, I'm afraid Kasumi sort of flipped a switch in that event.
I love how you every time she's around and she's not in her magical girl get up, you can just say, "Hey, let me just power you up."
Yes, yeah, power up.
It's always worth the minimum amount of intimacy as well.
Yeah. It's just here you go, poof. The other options I really enjoyed actually in that story was, and the options I took every single time was having Yuki insist he was also a magical girl.
Yes, that is also the correct answer.
Towards the end of it, people start looking at him strange. Are you okay?
I don't know. Shiori was totally into it.
Shiori is totally into it.
No, I mean like into Yuki being part of the team.
Oh yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, this sounds like a great idea.
He doesn't transform. He doesn't get any special powers. He doesn't do anything other than his usual glowiness. No, I'm magical girl too.
Yeah, Shiori is an absolute darling, but she can be a bit strange.
Yes.
Yeah. I like this event story a lot. It was completely stupid.
And it was right up Aristeel's alley. Like that was my impression of the story is that this is definitely right up Ari's alley.
it was so stupid and so great. I loved it.
The fact that there's all these, they're insisting like, go, you're magical girls. While you're in magical girl form, people won't recognize you. And then there's all these other characters who insist they're magical girls outside of this event, and they're magical girls too. They can totally see through your disguise.
It just ticked all the right stupid buttons for me. I loved it.
Completely and utterly idiotic.
Yeah, I'm now looking forward to all the magical girl events in the future.
And the villain.
Yeah.
The villain was just kind of the cherry on top.
Oh, Shizuru.
Aristeel's beloved waifu.
Not by choice.
Not by choice.
Partially by choice. It was more she was just there for me when nobody else was, as is her character. When I was struggling early on and all I had was Shizuru to try and solve problems with, she was the answer to so many problems.
This is sounding like a very familiar story to me.
She just loves her Oni-chan.
Did you have a similar experience with Shizuru?
No, but I had the exact same experience with Kirihime.
Yeah.
Because I pulled her to NP5 very, very early on, and I didn't have anybody else to rely on.
Shizuru and Kirihime would be an interesting combination together, as terms of characters.
Unlike Volacel, I did not start with an abundance of tanks at all, and so I had a lot of trouble finding an off tank in Pinecone. And so,
ooh, a parasol.
And so Shizuru was just always there to be that off tank, to be that third slot soaker whenever the kobolds showed up. She just was always there to be the right answer.
I had the benefit of other people who had played the game. So my first order of business when I started was to pump Yukari, and so I used her as my third slot because she's a very tanky support.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that wasn't a bad pull of the chest. I actually got a parasol and the scholar's glamour, weapon glamour.
Oh, the parasol is vendor trash.
Ah, well, I haven't used one yet, so.
Well, if you don't have one, it's not vendor trash. You can still use it.
I do.
Yeah,
actually.
it's just it might actually be cheaper than vendor price on the auction house.
I've managed to profit off them in the past. Not often.
Better than a kick in the face.
But yeah.
Right, what are we doing?
Yeah, so the next event I think is Valentine's rerun.
Yep.
Yep.
Were you there? Were you playing by this time last
No,
year? Or was it
no,
a
I
bit
wasn't.
later?
No, I started a little while after it because you were in your Valentine's Shizuru is the best thing ever. I think Valentine's Shizuru was the banner that was up when I started.
Okay, so it was a little bit into February then, probably.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know exactly. Because, I mean, the seasonal events don't seem to really run that in line with the actual seasons in Pinecone. English version way.
Like, by the time everyone else's events were doing Christmas, Pinecone was already doing New Year's. So, yeah.
So yeah, they're about a half season back, and yeah, I did get a lot of mileage out of Valentine's Shizuru. Not so much anymore. She's fallen off quite hard, but she's still good, and she's Shizu.
Yeah, I'm tempted to pull for her just because I like the character. She's like she's a bit cringe at times, but yeah, I suppose she's one of those characters who's sort of like she's one of the in denial love interests. Like no, her affection is purely sibling style affection, right? Yes, definitely.
Yes, totally.
No ulterior motives whatsoever. But
No.
in her case, I think she's actually in denial about her ulterior motives as well.
That and she's crazy.
Well, also.
Well, yeah, but maybe not on my scale of things, since my sort of median point is Kirihime on the crazy scale.
Yeah, well,
Like, so high up you broke the scale.
we know she's cray enough that she can channel that power into a magical beast for the event.
This is totally love. Creepy obsessive love.
Yeah, she just loves a little bit too much.
Oh, okay.
Why does it keep spawning right when I'm driving right through the middle of it trying to pick up mobs?
Because it does not like you.
No, it do not.
It do not.
I'm literally on my Pop-Tart trying to gather mobs, and the thing's just like, I'm gonna spawn now.
Yeah. Anyway, that's Pinecone. As before, I enjoy the story, but I just don't have what it takes to attempt to do anything competitive with it. It takes too much time to think about comps and that, and so as a result, I'm still miserable at it. But I'm there for the story, and the production values are good, so yeah, that's fine. I'm actually, in regards to the story, though, I'm kind of a bit miffed at how it leads off the new chapter, because I really didn't want to go through this sodding amnesia arc a second time. Like I was really hoping they wouldn't do that, but I had a gut feeling that they would, and they did. They just hit the reset button, and yeah, I'm rustled. But hopefully they can pull out of that tailspin pretty quickly, because I also have the gut feeling that this one isn't going to last the entire arc the way it did last time. So, yeah. Anyway, that's a thing, frustrating as it is. So, what else did I do? I did watch some anime. I need to go stand somewhere safe while I check the list of anime to find out what it is that I did. And hopefully... Oh, no, I immediately aggroed something.
Naturally.
Loud. I'll just kite it into the AoE. So that I can actually concentrate on anything else. It would be nice.
Remind me when we're doing this in future to set myself to do not disturb.
Why?
Because I keep getting people asking me to get invites to the group for cluster farming, and I don't want to do that when we're doing the show.
Right, let's see if I can find a list of anime and pick off which ones I watched at random. Because it is another one of these at random things. No, that's too old. Those are from last season. Okay, so I watched first episode of season 2 by the grace of the gods, and it is pretty much what it was before. It's an incredibly warm and fluffy version of the isekai. Like, there's no drama whatsoever. It's just warm and fluffy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I enjoyed the first one. It's the sort of the inverse of Slime Time, in that it's still Slime Time, except he's farming the slimes. And that's fine. If it's so, in fact, it's so similar in tone to the previous season that whether or not you like it will depend on whether you watch the previous season. So it's basically not worth watching unless you like the previous one. List is too hard to read. I watched another isekai, and most of them are isekai. In fact, like this season is like 90% isekai, like even more, even higher proportion than previous seasons. It's kind of bonkers, actually.
Getting a bit silly, yes.
I watched Campfire Cooking in Another World with my absurd skill.
It's only one episode so far, but I'm going to say I kind of enjoyed it.
It's okay. It's not really as new as you might think. But it's sort of like they at this point they're kind of running out of ideas for ridiculous skills that they can give to somebody. Basically, this kingdom isekai is a bunch of people, like 3 people or something, or 4 people. I think it's 4 people. 4 people. And 3 of them get OP hero skills, and one of them gets a damp squib, and that's the main character.
Basically,
of course.
online shop.
Yeah, he can basically buy anything you could buy at a supermarket and have it delivered to him
in a magical box,
relatively inexpensively for the economy of the world that he's in. Like the magical website accepts their local currency, but the values of things are more modern day Japan, so luxury goods are easy for him to get hold of. So he's able to then parlay this into becoming a cook of heretofore unheard of skill by using prepackaged sauces and things.
Like, he's not a specifically skilled cook, he's just like an average guy cooking with prepackaged food.
Yeah, he's the typical bachelor cook.
Yeah.
But like most bachelors, he knows how to get a lot of mileage out of inexpensive prepackaged rubbish. So and basically he manages to make sort of a good impression on some people with this after he gets sort of like booted out of the castle with a token amount of money to keep him alive, sort of thing, because they don't really want him because he's not very heroic. And it seems to be heavily implied that the kingdom that summoned him are kind of shitty anyway, and he really doesn't want to be caught hanging around there because it's not going to go well for him if he does. So he's just basically trying to skip town and set himself up somewhere else peaceful. And he ends up making what seems to be some kind of OP, powerful, magical wolf creature his familiar, because it barges into the campsite and insists on being fed and enjoys the food so much that decides to become his familiar, which is to say make him its personal chef.
Basically, that's his lot in life now.
Yeah, so basically he's now Fern and spends all of his time feeding Doggo. Yeah.
It's always Doggo time.
It is always Doggo time. Yeah. There is no end to Doggo time.
So I mean, it's unremarkable, but it's also inoffensive.
Yeah, it's
another
fun.
one. Yeah, it's another light entertainment one, and it's not like egregiously harem centric or anything like so many others.
Yeah, although for a bachelor chef, he also still has to fall into the anime law of all food must look absolutely divine.
Well, yeah, food porn is a thing. Like if it's an anime that centers on his ability to cook things and he doesn't make food that looks nice, then we'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
It's not gonna do very well for him. I just realized how far my metal has fallen. Oh my goodness! I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time in Zadnor.
I'll take you through Z3 for like an hour.
I'm like
triple what you lost.
I'm like, no, it's not going to be that fast. I'm sorry.
Oh dear.
I'm back at like resistance rank 19 now, sort of thing, from 23. This could take a long time to get caught up.
Oh
dear. What else did I watch? No, I talked about that one last time. I think I did anyway. No, I didn't watch that one. I hated that one. Didn't talk about how much I hated it last time, so I'll skip that one. I haven't watched that one. Don't really intend to watch that.
The problem is this season is very flat. If you don't like isekai, you're not going to find anything you like here.
It's everything is isekai.
Everything is isekai.
I almost clicked on one. What was it? Just because it wasn't isekai or anything too weird.
I watched Chillin' in My 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army. So this is very, very similar to the in concept at least, besides some inversions, to one that I know Ari watched as well, about the guy who gets booted out of the Heroes Party. He ends up living in a small town, exploiting his high level skills basically. Which are not high level relative to a hero, but are high level relative to the entire rest of the world.
And having a common law marriage with former friend of the party.
Yeah. The way in which this is similar is that it's the guy's been kicked out of the Demon King's army, but it seems that basically that he was a war orphan, I guess, adopted by the Demon King. And the Demon King raised him, and he grew up in the palace along with the princes, and so on and so forth. And the Demon King, despite being, it seems like a good father to him, and doing his best to teach him and whatnot, he was hopeless at magic. And the only distinction in this setting between the demon race and the human race is that demon race uses magic, and the human race uses martial skills. And that's basically it. And he was always hopeless at magic. He was never able to get so much as a puff of flame to come out. He was absolutely terrible, but he was well liked and well respected by most people. But when the Demon King retired, his son immediately kicked him out as being basically a shame to the Demon Kingdom for being a magicless demon. And so he gets thrown out. The difference between this one and the Hero Party one is that the Hero Party one, the guy has it together. He knows how to get along in life. He's got a plan. He knows what to do to make sure he doesn't starve. This guy grew up in the palace, and while he's a nice guy, he doesn't have a clue how to live in the outside world. He's been surrounded by demon nobility all his life. So he's basically, starving in the forest. And he manages to, despite having no skills, as far as he knows, he manages to accidentally save a local girl from being attacked by a monster. And the local girl is very thankful and drags him back to town to thank him. He sort of just gets drafted into staying in the town for a little while, and decides, I guess I don't have much choice but to become an adventurer. So he becomes an adventurer, and he takes the adventuring test to find out what his skill set is. And it turns out all of his skill set are martial, and he has more skills than any other human in history. So basically, according to him, the attempts to infiltrate the Adventurers Guild from the Demon Army have always failed because the demons will conspicuously be incapable of doing human things, signing the human contract, having human skills, and that sort of thing. And so infiltration always fails. He, on the other hand, is a perfect fit. So he realizes actually maybe he was actually human all along, and that explains why he can't magic at all. So the thing is, he's got all of this ridiculous amount of power, but doesn't have the foggiest clue how to use any of it because he's never trained. Since he thinks he's a demon, so he's been training to use magic all his life, despite the fact that he can't use it. So basically, he's going to be another overpowered isekai hero, albeit a clueless one. I don't see a lot of potential for this series because it seems like it's just going down a very traditional OP hero route. But I mean, it might surprise me. I might watch another episode or two more and see where it goes. We'll see.
Let's see what happens.
What else? I watched the next episode, or first episode of the next season of The Misfit of Demon King Academy, which is pretty much just as bad as the previous season was. But for some reason, I've got an undue fascination with this one, and I keep watching it. I've actually watched the previous season twice, and I didn't really like it either time.
But you keep going back to it.
But I kept going back to it, like a dog returneth to its vomit. Like I don't know. So I'll keep watching this one. There's always like this setting is completely drowning in conspiracies. Like everybody appears to be conspiring against everybody else at their nobility's level. So there's always some shadowy manipulating hand behind the scenes for everything, and I'm just sort of morbidly fascinated to figure out who is manipulating who has occupied whose body, who has wiped whose memories and replaced them with something else, etc., etc., etc. Nobody is who they appear to be, but everybody is on the take, and everybody is attempting to manipulate everybody else. Most of them are failing dramatically, and the main character is so OP that even if he doesn't see through all of it, he'll just blow up whoever is responsible. So, yeah.
This seems like a very Laharl solution to the problem.
It does.
It does have some pretty Disgaea vibes to it at times. Like, it takes itself very seriously, unlike Disgaea. But the absurdity of the scenarios that actually play out, if you redrew everybody in a super deformed style and added Prinnies, it would basically be a Disgaea story.
It just
It's sounding like a good
draw them
thing
all.
so far.
It's not very comedic, but it would become comedic if it didn't take itself seriously because it's so absurd.
Just flip everybody's boobs upside down, deform their art style a lot a bit, and add some funny.
Add a lot of funny.
I watched...
Incidentally, actually, there's been some sneak peek trailers of the new Disgaea game, and it's looking smooth.
Yeah, the problem is 5 and 6 were not very. They couldn't follow up on 4.
Nah.
I don't want to say they were bad, but it's hard to follow up 4.
I want to like Disgaea, but I just can't do strategy. I just can't do it at all.
Yeah.
Like, the only scenario in which I can genuinely play a Disgaea game is if I've got a huge amount of free time to grind, and then I can just grind everything up to the levels required to use a guide that will lead me exactly through the path I need to take to be successful. Because I can't solve those problems.
The problem is, inevitably, every guide will say, and then the item world exists.
Yeah. So,
I just want to see the story, though.
No, you have to grind. Enjoy.
You can get through a Disgaea game without having to go to item world, but
yeah.
The item world is designed to just keep you there indefinitely. That's the purpose of it. So, anyway, I also watched what is it? The reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in another world. So this is sort of a bit novel as well, in that the main character isn't isekai'd by Truck-kun. He's actually maybe Heian era. He was the most powerful Onmyo sorcerer in the world, and he basically got too big for his britches. And while he didn't deserve to die for being too big for his britches necessarily, it was not really made clear whether or not he was really evil or whether he was just a kind of a dick. He ended up ticking off the Imperial Court, who then arranged for him to have an accident. They disposed of him.
Yes.
And he died bitter over this, but then when he was reincarnated as a sort of like a third son bastard child of a noble in a fantasy world where your worth is determined by your capacity to use magic, and he can't. He's magicless. There are in this case, it's not that everybody can use magic. in that so much as that only nobles have a substantial amount of magic for the most part, it seems. But him as a bastard third son, no magic, is basically socially dead. There's no future for him, except that nobody in that world has developed Onmyo sorcery yet, and it appears to still work, more or less. So basically he's trying to navigate his way through life as a magicless person who can only use like magic that looks visibly heretical because it works in an entirely different way to their magic. And so yeah, but he's OP, but it's sort of interesting that in this case it's somebody coming from a high station going to a lower one and then making his way through a different type of noble society to the noble society he was already involved in. Because normally you see somebody comes from a low station and ends up having to navigate high society. In this case, he's gone from high society to high society, albeit at a lower pitch, and he's sort of got most of the tools required to understand what's going on, but has to approach everything in a radically different way, because as far as the standards of the place he's now in, he doesn't fit. So, I mean, it's not great, to be honest, but it's watchable, but it's only as watchable as your average isekai. And I wouldn't, from what I've seen so far, I wouldn't rank it among one of the better ones, but I also wouldn't rank it down among In Another World with my smartphone. So, yeah. I watched the first episode of the second season of Nagatoro.
Yeah.
It's pretty much moved squarely into rom-com territory now. Like, while it was always had shades of that because it's pretty obvious the affection that Nagatoro has for her senpai, they are not sort of dancing around it so much anymore in the storytelling. Like, the stories are clearly framed to present the difficulties of these two radically different people who clearly have feelings for each other but won't admit it to themselves or to anybody else. And the way that they bounce off each other, considering they don't exactly find each other repellent, but they don't think or act the same way in any capacity. So I suppose it's almost refreshing in a way, simply because it's very straightforward. It's sort of a straightforward old genre from the early aughts type of anime, as opposed to another isekai. So when you've got, you know, only a couple things that are not isekai embedded in amongst a bunch of isekai, you kind of need the palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Like I don't particularly like the sort of the humiliation conga expression of affection that appears to be the mainstay of the series. But
yeah, some of it was just straight up bullying. Let's face it.
Oh yes, and some of it was definitely straight up bullying. But as you see the way the first season closes out and the second season begins, you can see that she's clearly shading into just genuine affection now. And most of her bullying has lost the nasty edge to it and is more focused on her covering up her own embarrassment.
Oh boy.
But
Acute for Red Shocktober.
why would you do this?
Why?
Why would you do this?
You don't have to push the accept button.
Yes, I do. I'm compelled.
I can't because I'm in a cutscene, so yeah.
Well, you got a minute and a half.
See, did I watch anything else as of yet that I haven't talked about already? I haven't been able to bring myself to watch New Trigun yet. I don't
I'm
know
not
if I'll
going
be able to.
I'm
not going to.
I might just go and watch the original.
That's
I know
probably
it's-
the safer bet.
I know it's flawed, but yeah, remakes are bad, honestly.
Even with its problems in the later half, it's still fine. You can still watch it, even if you can clearly tell they ran out of material because the manga was still going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so much metal for this.
oh, you just don't accept them reses. Just hang on to that, Rez.
Just lay there.
I don't
I've
think
got-
there's anything else that I watched that I haven't talked about as yet. I haven't got around to watching the first episode of the new season of Bofuru yet. I probably won't watch the Tales of a Cold Steel anime because I haven't played the game.
It's going to be spoilerific if you do, because it's all about the Northumbrian War, which takes place between Cold Steel 1 and Cold Steel 2 as a side event that's mentioned as something that happened off screen,
Right.
but is very important to the development of Reen's character and progression as the Ashen Knight.
Green has a character and progression.
Well, this is supposedly where he becomes the Ashen Knight in deed. We hear about his exploits during the war, but we don't get to see them. We only get to see his exploits, in the game. But all of this will spoil Cold Steel 1.
Lewd head patting.
Well, he also has a mech.
Lewd head patting.
The mech also had bats.
That's unseemly.
Very.
But yeah, it's gonna spoil Cold Steel 1 for you.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think I've got much else to talk about. That was about the most I could get out of my week of not doing anything. So
Yeah.
that's all I got. That's all I've got.
All right. Do we have time? We've got 20 seconds, so if we... no. Ari, do you just want to flow into this, and we'll come straight back into the email?
Yeah, we'll just roll with my week and then take a break. So my week. So I was here on patch day. I was able to play. I was here one more day of the week. I had a lot of free time, and then this evening I had a good bit of free time. Or today, this Saturday, I had a good bit of free time. The rest of my week was eaten by the ghost of taxes past,
Oh, no.
because they never stop. It never stops. The government is always there, looming.
Wanting your money.
That is how they do.
They always just want more of my money. They always want me to file my crap in weirder and wackier ways. Alright. You guys can all... Do not stack with me, do not stack with me, do not stack with me.
Plunge.
Okay, I got distracted because I actually got the stack up marker and I wanted to do full damage to Red Comet. So I had to be sure I took it alone.
Yeah.
Why did I die?
I died because I forgot how this mechanic works.
Oh no.
You don't
My
just go
controller
back
died.
in after the first meteors, because otherwise you'll get smooshed.
It's okay. We have a backup controller.
Oh, no.
It's okay. We're good now.
By res, I'll lose all that metal the second time.
Just hang on to that, Rez.
I feel bad for all those people who are so generously resing me though.
Oh, dear. This boss.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. This is the one where people hit.
Like 3 people have attempted to res me so far.
All right.
They're
I've
putting
only got-
themselves at risk for me.
I've got 2 people. Yep. Somebody got me DQ'd. Thankfully, that means I don't have to talk myself into trying it because nobody else qualified.
Hooray.
On the bigger plus side, if I get a stack up marker, I do more damage to him because I have a Vuln stack.
Fourth person trying to res me. I wish they would stop. I feel really bad.
Oh boy. Let's see if people killed. Look at all these freaking white mage bubbles blocking line of sight. I can't see what the heck's going on.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
Let the chocobos dash, and then go back to Red Comet, see what direction they're rotating, and then run right behind it and follow
Maybe I'll
it.
res after this.
Get to the next safe spot, let the chocobos dash, go back to Red Comet, back to the
Oops.
thing and follow it. Wait for the chocobos, wait for them to do the telegraph, go to the nearest safe spot, wait for the chocobos to dash, sprint, run back behind it, pop reflect, and keep chasing it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you dodge that mechanic.
Right, so where does the impact spots go? Always in front of him?
What do you mean impact spots?
Like, where
There's a lot of impact spots.
Yeah, the big red ones.
Okay, so they will either go clockwise or counterclockwise, and there are 2 of them, and will go in that counterclockwise or clockwise pattern the entire duration of the mechanic.
Uh-huh.
And they don't stop. They will not stop. However, as you noticed, the Chocobos will occasionally dash across the field.
Yes.
What you got to do is identify what direction the red circles are going first. So you go to a safe spot for the first initial charge. You let the Chocobos charge, and you sprint or charge out of there. If you don't have a charge, you use sprint, and then you wait to see what direction they're going, and you follow one of the circles. You get immediately behind it, and you chase it.
Huh.
And you will wait until the next batch of Chocobo spawns, and you will look like there's nowhere safe to go, but you have a lot of time before oh goodness, I'm tanking because everybody else died. That means I gotta actually push buttons.
Yeah, you do. Alright, here comes the chicken charge.
This is the hard one. Just it's easier to describe when I'm not trying to tank the boss and dodge everybody's crap that they're trying to kill me with.
Yeah, there is just so much no-no zone in this fight.
Indeed. Somebody didn't do the thing, right?
Yeah, there's just a pile of corpses over here. Don't mind us.
I'm gonna have to Living Dead if he Chocobo slashes. I'm
I'm
Living Deading.
You're gonna have to Living Dead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to. I'm Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Come on. I need one more. I got it.
Go.
Okay. Okay, so watch this. So I'm going to go to a safe spot ahead of time. I know this is going to be a safe spot. So I'm going to wait for the Chocobos to dash, and I'm going to stay a little bit closer to the Chocobos here, so I have one hit of this to dodge. I get back in the middle. They're going clockwise, so I get behind one, and I chase it. This is currently not safe, but it's fine, because I'll get to the safe spot before the Chocobos dash. Now, I go back to the middle to get out of the way of people dropping meteors over there, and I chase the one that was at the spot where I just was. Once again, I follow it. I just got hit by somebody else's stupid meteor, because that happens, and there's nothing you can do about it. You go back to the middle, and then you do it as many times as you have to for that mechanic.
Eesh.
Now, as you saw,
this might be a
I'm blowing every cool. I've only got so many cooldowns.
Yeah, that Astro, I think, is only healing when Swiftcast is up. Oh, he's only rezzing.
And more than that, he needs to heal me if he wants this fight to keep going.
Yeah.
I have to survive. Oh, goodness. I ain't soaking that. You're on your own, buddy.
Oh, no. Oh, this is...
on reflect damage. It's scaled too high for me to solo, probably. I don't think I can solo this. I can keep going. The Chocobo slashes will eventually get me. Well,
that.
Oh, I didn't reflect.
Your health is not looking too great.
No, I can't. I'm out of juice. I can't do that.
Oh dear. Yeah, this fight's a mess at the best of times.
Yeah, what actually got me killed there was Vuln stacks from people dropping meteors on top of me. And this is why I hate doing this one with this many people specifically.
Yeah. You get enough people, there's just not going to be anywhere safe.
Well, because people don't know what to do with these stupid meteors. Like, the one side there did them right, where they dropped them close to the Exaflare. The other side didn't. And they're running around like chickens with their head cut off because, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that you need to think about why exactly did they position that Exaflare there, and why did they give you time? Because if the Exaflare was the only thing you needed to worry about, it would be easy to dodge because it's at the far side of the only safe place, right?
Yeah.
So there must be a reason why they gave you that extra time, and it's so that you can position your meteors first. I think it's more of the problem is not that I don't know what to do with the meteor, so much as people just simply not realizing that they've got a meteor.
Yeah, or they can get a meteor because it's random who gets them.
I definitely need to go to Zadnor after this.
At least I'm still in the
But
same
yeah.
spot where I can fall over a few times and still come away from a.
Somebody qualified for the duel, so we can go watch that while I talk about my week.
All right, let's do that.
I've got a
So-
loathsome.
So yeah,
Loathsome.
what you call it? My week at work was a nightmare when I was at work. Three of my days were just eaten by work completely. It drove me up the wall.
You mean by the government?
Yeah, by the government. Nobody wanted to fight Lion.
Nobody wanted to
Big
fight
surprise.
Lion.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before a CE pops as well, so that's good. I can park myself somewhere, and lose the Ant Lion somewhere. And then, yeah, I came home, and 2 days I just went to sleep. I couldn't. I was too dead after work. It was too much. Ugh. So, let's see. Oh, I know something nice and easy I can do while we got Fern in the group.
Something big brain.
I got a big brain plan. Involves White Mage and Essence the Ordained.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. You don't have to do anything. Just follow me around. Actually, do not do anything. Literally, don't push any buttons.
Yeah. Someone got smacked by one of the Dualahans.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so that's actually a nasty little bit I found about this quest, but at least it fully warns you. Like, the second part, you go to put down the reader, and it says, don't go there at night because the undead walk around. And you go up there, and there's rank 5 Dualahans everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah. But you go there during the day, and you can just walk straight in.
I'm gonna grab a few more deaths so we can do this a bit quicker. Okay, that should be enough. Let's see. Okay, follow me. And do not do anything.
Okay. Am I about to see some shenanigans?
Yes.
I see.
Do I got sleep on my bar? I do. Good. Let's move that somewhere more accessible.
Okay.
Work. All right. Welcome to cheese mode.
I like cheese.
I'm gonna put him to sleep. Chain spell. Death.
Huh. Well, alrighty then.
Hello.
Continue. There are more. If that one was up, the rest are up.
I'm traumatized by Red Chocobo.
Just go around the chocobos. So yeah, I can't talk about most of the Final Fantasy stuff I did because it was patch content. But what I can talk about is some of the mechanical changes of the classes, and specifically, what I wanted to talk about was my impression of Paladin.
Talk about wailing and gnashing of teeth online. My goodness.
So, kill that Seven Tender if he doesn't de-aggro.
We just might as well just give him a smack. Smack. Smack.
He's running. He's running away. He's gone.
Soulglav. I think that's how you pronounce this guy's name.
Yeah, I gotta wait for Death to be off cooldown.
Death.
But Paladin, they have totally reworked Paladin and changed its gameplay dynamic.
So that it can actually cooperate with 2-minute damage windows.
Yeah, it's now in the 2-minute meta with everything else. And the best way I can think to describe it is they turned it into Ghetto Gunbreaker. So what they've done is previously we had two very distinct phases in our rotation with where our damage split fairly evenly between the two. We had a physical phase and a magic phase. In the physical phase, we'd pop our physical damage steroid. We would do our 1-2 part of our 1-2 combo that splits into either a dot or the heavy hitting move that lets us use atonement 3 times. And we would go 1-2, pop our steroid, put our dot on the target, use our 2 OGCDs, which were Expiation and Circle of Scorn, and then we would do the 1-2-3, and then 3 atonements, if we could fit all the atonements in. If you couldn't, because of the fight timing, which is where Paladin got really weird, was figuring out how many atonements you had to cut out of your rotation. You would then go into your magic phase after reapplying Goring Blade. And if you pop Fight or Flight at the perfect time, and had the right amount of spell speed, you could get Goring Blade off while the buff was still on you. So you would reapply it with the physical damage buff on for the entirety of your magic phase, and the dot will be ticking. So then you go into your magic phase. You pop Requiescat, and then you use Holy Spirit 4 times, and then you would do the 4 hits of the Confiteor chain, which would end in a big sword hit that would put a dot that was stronger than your damaged amped Goring Blade on the target. And then you would do an Atonement combo, and you would and that would basically be that. And you would restart from the beginning. And that was how our old rotation worked. And it wasn't rocket surgery, it wasn't super hard, but it was different to the way all the other tanks and classes played. This is a bit of a problem, though, with the current meta design of Final Fantasy XIV, where they are, in Endwalker specifically, they are very focused around this 2-minute buff window meta. Where, because our damage was so spread out and we didn't have a quote-unquote burst window, the 2-minute meta didn't really work with Paladin. And the rotation was very rigid, with barely enough time to do exactly as much as you needed to before your cooldowns were back up. And drifting your cooldowns was very easy on Paladin, and you'd wind up losing a lot of damage from what was supposed to be your damage output in the kit, because the kit was balanced around you being able to whack on the boss like it's target dummy. Which, as anybody that has played a video game in an MMO knows, bosses aren't target dummies. They're going to become untargetable, go run away, and do stuff where you can't hit them. So Paladin was lagging behind. So to make him fit in more with the 2-minute meta and give him a bit more flexibility, what they did was they completely revamped the way Goring Blade works and took away its dot component, and they completely reworked the magic phase entirely.
Honestly, Goring Blade just puzzles me now. I can't work out what it's for.
It is just the equivalent of Sonic Break, except without a dot on Gunbreaker. So now the way it works is Requiescat now gives you 4 charges instead of 5. And the only thing you will use when you press Requiescat are your 4 Confiteor hits. There will be no Holy Spirit spent there. You're wasting damage if you do that. So we're going to put the Scorpion to sleep. Sleepy Scorpion. Stupid Scorpion, die. There we go.
There we go.
Just one more.
One over near the base camp.
Yep. What you call it? Yeah, we can't do. Have you unlocked Zone 3?
No, not yet.
Okay, then we can't do Where's Sir Behemoth yet. But what was I saying? Right. And you will only use Requiescat for your Confiteor cast and never for Holy Spirit. Now, whenever you hit Royal Authority as your 1-2-3 combo, which is the third hit of your 1-2-3 combo, you'll get a buff that lasts 30 seconds that gives you a baby Requiescat that only works with Holy Spirit or Holy Circle. I gotta wait on death to come off cooldown. And the way it works now is you pop Requiescat. Oh, and Fight or Flight is no longer physical. Physical only. It's now all damage. It just is a generic steroid now.
Hang on, let me just gather these guys up.
Okay, Fern Flower dead. Oop, that's the wrong button. So yeah, that's where we're at with Paladin. Mm-hmm. And so it is totally different now. And when I say it's I'm very bad at describing things and how they feel, but the best comparison I can make is it feels like Budget Gunbreaker. Like they just wanted to give it a regular burst window, and they wanted it to have the same number of GCDs as Gunbreaker does. The only problem is we have no UI elements to delineate our Requiescat charges, or whenever we have our juice from Royal Authority to remember that it's up. We just have to look at the buff bar.
Yeah. It's odd, actually.
So,
like, every other class that relies on a mechanic like that has a bar or an icon or something.
Mm,
well, not all of them.
No,
like
warriors don't have anything.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
monks also have to rely on debuffs and buffs, and they don't have any. Well, they have a bunch of other UI.
They got a bunch of other
don't
stuff
have.
for monks, but
But they don't have it for their buffs and debuffs.
they got a ways to go.
It just feels like there could be there because it does feel so much like Gunbreaker.
The warrior has a bar in order to have a bar. That's the only reason the mechanics are the way they are, to facilitate them having a bar. The bar doesn't do anything. It just measures how much rage you've got, which is only ever spent on one thing, and only ever in 50... I don't know what the energy unit is even called.
It's just a Felcleave juiceometer.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
It's to make the utility of their two combo enders different to each other.
Yeah. I'm not quite as bad as some other Paladin mains are. I am not happy with the changes. I think it would be a lie to say I am. So far I'm not.
It's not that you wanted it to remain the same, it's that you didn't want it to get burnt to the ground.
Yeah. I wanted some changes to it, a little bit more flexibility. I'm not sure how they could accomplish that. But
I think that it was just an artifact of a different meta, ultimately.
Yeah, but it gave it a very unique feel for the way the game is right now, where it felt like a distinct tanking class from the other classes, instead of just budget Gunbreaker. And playing it right now, it just feels like budget Gunbreaker.
Honestly, I think that they need to rebuild all the tank classes. They've progressively simplified Warrior to the point where it is now the lowest common denominator. The Dark Knight has had most of its abilities stripped out in order to make it more like Warrior, despite the fact that people feel Warrior is oversimplified. Gunbreaker was at least its own thing, because Paladin was also its own thing, but now that Paladin's been synchronized with Gunbreaker, now they're all a bit like they need to pick a location for two of the classes to sit and move the other two away from them, not make there essentially only two types of tanks.
Yeah, and what we're learning, what we're seeing with the Paladin changes, really feels like homogenization to a degree that I don't feel comfortable with, and I'm quite worried with them taking future direction of the game with.
The thing is that I don't know if that's what the motivation was behind the changes they made to Paladin, because they definitely homogenized it and the changes were intentional. However, the intention of the homogenization may not have been a philosophical drive towards homogenization being a good thing, because the reality is that the 2-minute meta is here to stay for at least an expansion, and there is no way to keep Paladins relevant if they don't move them in line with the meta, because it will constrain their development along every other axis, and most likely the gulf between the Paladin and the other tank classes would get really, really worse as the gear improves, and you would end up in a situation where you actually can't start your Paladin as the boss tank because the 2-minute window would be too good for every other tank, and they would get such a massive threat lead that you would have this weird scenario where, but there's this one tank that is always pigeonholed to starting as off tank and probably remaining as off tank.
Yeah. So it is, I understand why they did the change, but it does take some of the unique feeling away from Paladin. This expansion was the reason I was playing it as my main tank. And,
no, the reason you're playing it as your main tank is because you always played it as your main tank.
Oh, no, I was flipping around a lot of them and settled on Paladin. I tried out all the tanks and decided that gameplay-wise, Paladin was the one I just liked the best because it felt the most different, and I liked the just the uniqueness to how it played. That may be novelty, but it's still a valid reason as far as I'm concerned. So that's why I was playing it, and so I don't know what if I'll keep giving it a shot. I haven't really had a whole lot of time to experiment with it yet. My feelings are still kind of jumbled with it, but my initial impressions are not good. Not bad, necessarily.
It was a necessary evil. It was a necessary evil. Like, you may have liked Paladin, but Paladin was an absolute cluster F before.
Yeah,
It was a badly designed class. It may have felt unique, but it was a badly designed class.
yeah, it's gonna take a while for it to sit. And then the real problem with Paladin, though, and yes, I know, Realm Reborn, yada yada yada, 2.0, etc. Right now, level syncing with Paladin feels worse than any of the other tanks. Because your entire half of their kit, their magic kit, is gated behind like level 70.
Yeesh.
I don't think that that's true. I think Dark Knight feels really freaking awful as well.
It's hard to describe. Dark
Dark
Knight,
Knight, you just don't have any tools, period. You can't do anything except 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's all you can do.
But they need to address that with the tanks as well. Where they, well, I don't really know if they need to, but it would be nice if they did. Where
I don't think that they're going to devote a lot of development time to that. That's something that they rejuggle when they do like full scale class revamps at the start of an expansion. Then occasionally they juggle those things. It's just not a priority, because even if it doesn't feel good, you're going to be in it for 15 minutes, and it doesn't affect the broader arc of gameplay at all. So I can't see them devoting a lot of time to it.
But yeah, there's that with Paladin. I'll have to sit down and play with it a bit more and actually take it into more than a few high level duties. I've taken it into the Alliance raid once. I took it into the new dungeon and the new trial, and so I've got 3 high end duties I've done with it, and I've got quite a bit of target dummy time with it. But yeah, haven't had that much time to sit down and really go ham and try and figure it out. And we'll have to see. It's an adjustment, and I haven't quite nailed down my whole feelings on it yet. But yeah, that's Paladin. Once I have a better grasp of how I actually feel about it, and have had more time to sit down with it, I can give a better analysis of what does or doesn't work with it. But for now, it is just a nebulous kind of not feeling it. But we'll see where it sits after I've had time to play with it a bit more.
I don't think that any of these changes were. I don't think that they were done to ameliorate the Paladin's problems. I don't think that that's the issue. I think that the issue was that the Paladin was such a badly designed class before that it became a constraint on their design.
Yeah.
Like, that's the advantage. There are many disadvantages to homogenization, but the advantage of homogenization is that it frees you up in design. The problem is that the meta game was homogenized for every class that wasn't the Paladin. And because the Paladin is a core class that you have in the tanking role, you are forced to then design every encounter to facilitate the Paladin being able to do that one thing it does differently to everybody else. Yeah, and they can't let that persist for the rest of an expansion. It's just going to screw with their design too much. So I think that their priority, probably this was brought about by the testing for the second stage of the raids. Like so many other changes that happened, it was probably brought about by the second stage of testing and the raids, that they realised that long term the Paladin was going to become a really egregious problem as the expansion wore on, and that they needed to curtail it as soon as possible if they wanted their future designs to work. And so I think that the main motivation behind making these changes wasn't because they think that, this is a fixed Paladin that is great, well built, cohesive and compelling to play. It was, now we have managed to remove the immediate problem, we can refine this later, but the rest of our design plans can now be moved back on track.
Yeah, it's I understand why they made the changes. I don't have an opinion on the 2-minute meta itself, only insofar as it impacts game feel for casual play from them going through and making changes to classes. But because I don't rate Savage.
I'm not really a huge fan of the 2-minute meta. I understand why it exists and why it's an attractive design principle, because the reality is when they didn't set that tent peg down in the past, chaos ensued, basically. And the question was always like a battle between the people who liked controlled chaos and the people who were like, yes, but we can't actually induct people into this level of play because it's too complicated. It's become too mature of a micro meta at the top end that nobody can move into it without a ridiculous amount of training time.
Yeah. So it be what it be with that. I'll sit down with Paladin and try and figure it a bit more. Right now, I'm leaning towards Gunbreaker, which was my second choice, being my main tank. Gunbreaker is fairly busy for a tank, but all its buttons flow very naturally as just an artifact of it being a newer class.
Yeah, it doesn't have baggage.
Yeah, so I'm leaning towards Gunbreaker, and as noted in my galaxy-brained revelation, now not only do they have Royal Guard, but they have Royal Guard release.
I can't decide if that's deliberate or not.
I all the classes got a so-and-so stance release, but seeing release Royal Guard, I can't help myself.
See, the thing is, they didn't have to call it release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called release for all the tanks, sure, but they had to pick a word to use. And I don't see any reason why they would call it release, except that one of them is Royal Guard. Because release doesn't really make sense for the flavor of the other ones.
Like release quit.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it unfortunately makes an awful lot of sense to Royal Guard, so it does seem very much like a reference, but it's kind of on the nose, so I'm like, did they really do that? But as I commented to Aristeel during the week, every time I read the words Royal Guard on the screen, I always hear it in Dante's voice, though.
Yeah.
Royal Guard.
Royal Guard.
So that's Paladin. Mechanics, what else can I talk about? Mechanist. I can talk a little bit about that because I have taken it in Palace of the Dead a little bit.
One of those many things that you never call by its correct name.
Yes.
Yes, machinist, mechanist,
Gun haver.
machinist. Machinist.
Anyway.
So, the big change here is previously, I don't know exactly what their rotation is off the top of my head because I didn't main mechanist, but I looked it up once, tried it, and on my latency I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's why I completely gave up on it and just kind of came up with my own.
There's a people use mods to do it for them.
Yeah. They have a modified version for people that can't do it, and a sane modified version for people that don't want to bust their fingers off.
Yeah, because it gets a bit out of hand.
All of them were insane.
Still are.
For that stupid overheat window. And they have modified overheat. Overheat now lasts 10 seconds, but you only have 5 charges in that 10-second window.
Yeah.
Which means if you hammer that overheat button on cooldown as fast as you can, on my latency, you'll have around 3.5 to 4 seconds left over on the overheat duration, which you can throw into other GCDs, which makes it far easier to cram in all the overheat shots if you're having a lag spike, your connection's not particularly good that day, or your Straya.
Yes. So before it was overheat would last 8 seconds and you would still get 5 shots. But if you tried to weave, you're going to start clipping things, and odds are you were not going to get the full 5 plus all the weaves.
Anybody that has played Mechanist and has unlocked both Ricochet and Gauss Shot will know it is optimal to alterna weave, to empty your Gauss rounds and your Ricochets. And after every single heat shot, as soon as they both become active again, alternate Gauss Shot, Heat Blast, Ricochet.
Yeah.
And repeat this for the duration of your overheat. This was impossible for anybody that wasn't living on the server.
Yoshi P. Everyone who's not Yoshi P.
Yeah. I could not do this consistently. In fact, I couldn't do this most of the time.
I've never even really attempted to do it. Like, it's like, you know what, I'm going to treat this like a normal class with normal weaves.
Yeah, odds are you're going to need spider hands to do it probably as well, and still do, but that's beside the point.
But now that you've got a full 10 seconds to futz with your overheats, you got plenty of time to figure out a way to cram all those overheats in.
Yep.
This is a huge change for the way Mechanist operates with people that have latency or just don't live on the server farm.
It makes it actually playable without using a mod to inject extra packets.
Yes.
Yeah. It's they had to go into the forbidden camp of triple weaving for a single weave. It was a mess before. This
I
has
can't
been
even double weave for potions, let alone on a regular cooldown.
Yeah, this was a much needed change for not just the Aussies, for even people just that don't live on the server farm.
Honestly, I've been incredulous for the longest time that they didn't do something like this. Well, honestly, I expected them to. I didn't expect them to do this way. I expected them to just turn it into a single weave requirement and then adjust the damage accordingly.
That would be the other way to do it, but I think this is a kind of a quick and dirty way of doing it for now.
I actually think this is probably the best way they can do it without provoking fan backlash, because Mechanists like that frantic.
You can still be an autistic spares if you want.
Yeah, this still lets you have your button hammery phase, where you just go ham.
The reason you play Machinist is because you want Daka.
Yeah. You also got some minor potency buffs on the basic combo and Gauss Shot.
Yes. And they also put a extra charge to Wildfire.
Yeah, just so if you can squeeze in them overheats, and you will have, if you squeeze them in back to back to back to back, you'll have one extra GCD you can play with than would be in the old overheat window, and you just throw a regular GCD in there, and you'll beat your cap. That's pretty tight though, but if you're pushing that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll go to that version. Well, at least not mid-expansion. Maybe between expansions I might look at doing it, but I'll have to play with it and see what feels better. Because I've been doing the kind of the bastardized rotation for so long, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to change easily.
Oops. I didn't mean to invite that guy.
Why would you do this?
I'm just spent.
Ah, Garleans.
Because he's been... this rando's been messaging me, and I've been trying to be nice to him and politely shoo him away.
Because please go away. Yeah. Why are Garleans so cartoonishly evil when they're not actually plot relevant?
You haven't even done Whirl It yet.
Yeah.
You want to see cartoonishly evil?
Oh dear. Anyway, with that, I'm going to cut in the middle of this cutscene and say we should probably take a break.
Yeah, we should.
So let us do that.
All right. I'll try and get this rando to leave me alone. It's been just this random guy messaging me. Hey, is 25 the max rank out here? Hey, where'd you get that mount? Oh, gravy. Normally I don't mind jabbering to random people in Baja, but I'm trying to do a show.
Want to join my guild?
You want to join my guild?
He really does. He's reminding me of Dirty.
It's worrying that we both went straight to Dirty.
Dirty, could you quit with the constant chatter? It's making me want to kill myself.
So.
Anyway, take us out.
All right. Here's some music, folks. We'll be right back. And we're back. And I felt like pain.
Yeah, what have you gotten us into here?
Behold, the calculator.
Do
Baja
this
edition.
one. It doesn't matter what I do, I get this one. I die on this one. His spinny thing is the thing that always kills me. For some reason, I can't do this one ever.
His spinny thing.
Yeah, he has fire farts and lasers that come out of his face, and he'll rotate.
Oh, like the original calculator does?
Does the original calculator do this? I've done Rerun Lighthouse like twice.
Yeah, he kind of does this. He'll sneeze, and then he turns, and then he sneezes again.
Oh, this is worse than that.
It's really fast, and he farts as well.
Oh, so you gotta stay beside him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original calculator does not fart when he sneezes.
Yeah, this one does both.
Right, so he's firing at both ends. Great.
For some
Yeah.
reason, this one paralyzes me on math as well. The other, I've never had a problem with calculator, but this one, it's not like he does anything different. But for some reason, I can't do math on this one.
I'm just going to take the danger Dorito off my head because that's not going to help here.
No.
I'm also going to have to tank this one.
Well, there's hardly anybody here, so you can solo it if you need to.
I should probably make a new glamour. I'm just really just kind of over how, honestly, kind of ugly this gear is.
I am the brightest Dark Knight.
You are the shiniest Dark Knight. The brightest knight.
With a big...
Boot camp mode.
Doopy 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 doo. Alright, so is he going to do something unpleasant?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
So
both his butt and his face are not safe cones. And they will rotate. And they will rotate fast.
I got farted on. They do go fast, but the butt didn't hurt very much.
You're a tank.
I'm not doing anything tanky at the moment, though.
And typically you're going to get hit more than one once you start getting hit.
No, that time I only got one.
Oh boy, here we go.
Time to do math.
Oh, it's the right face. And I've got 4.
Calibrate to multiples of
Need
4. Okay, I need 1.
Does the move go off before or after?
Before. The move will go before
How big is it? How big is it?
Oh!
Arena.
Now you tell me.
Okay, yeah, a bit more warning about the forced march would have been nice.
Oh.
Yeah!
Burns off in the middle.
That's
of
kind
the
of
game.
important.
Okay, I have back march. Let's see.
Uh,
Indivisible. I'm already indivisible, so I should be good.
yeah, I haven't actually checked. Does it matter if you're not in a circle as long as your number is valid?
Yep, as long as your number's fine.
Okay.
Does not care.
As long as your math is correct.
How autistic.
Yes.
Lost Cure has a cooldown.
Oh, is there no one here who can res? That's unfortunate.
I got Phoenix downs in case of emergency. I'm glad I put that Lost Cure on.
Yeah. I'll just lay in the no-no zone. It's fine.
Here we go.
Then going to lie back and think of England.
Is he having sex with the calculator? And the second one goes on for so
A
long.
lot longer. So yeah, that's basically what the original calculator does, except this one just fires out of both ends. Which makes the safe zone a lot trickier to stay in.
My metal has decreased again. I need like 1 million to get back.
Wow.
That's 4 critical engagements in Zadnor.
Okay.
Not even.
And this is why you don't eat spicy food while you've got a cold.
Oh man, you just reminded me of my stomach started gurgling.
Yeah. I've got the dubious honour of having died during the math phase, so yay, I guess.
Yeah. I just kind of assumed you would notice the Force March buff.
I did not.
I'll pick y'all up. Hang on.
Thank you.
There's Vol. I lost Vol. There he is.
That's also enough metal to get me up to rank 10, though. So I'm
You're
going to
still
go.
gaining metal? I'm only losing it.
I am still net profit in metal.
Oh, I guess you must lose less when you die. I don't know.
As long as you get picked
Yeah,
up, yeah.
It's a percentage of whatever you need to rank up or something.
Yeah.
Capping at whatever 25 is.
There's the quest over there. Where's the boss? Over there. There he is. All right. We have an email which we should dig out.
Yep. You got that, Fern? I'm busy jiggering my box.
Well, I'll get that up in just a second. Gotta jigger.
Incidentally, if you're wondering what the heck I was talking about with some random guy whispering me, I posted it in live show chat.
Yeah. And again, I have to ask, who the hell is Philip? I don't know why, but we've been getting a lot of spam in the email, the show, Fox, and it's all addressed to Philip.
You did it, Philip. You finally won.
You won, Philip.
$15,000.
All you got to do to claim it is give $1 million to a Nigerian prince. Wait, what?
Location at Click for This Chess House.
What? Which reminds me, actually, I heard I think it was one of the HoloLive girls call all the Fire Emblem games waifu chess, and I can't hear that now. So thanks for that, HoloLive. You've ruined everything.
Seems appropriate.
Well, is it wrong?
No, and that's the worst part. It is entirely correct.
As a loosely speaking Fire Emblem fan, this is accurate.
It is accurate.
Well, maybe less accurate during the Blazing Blade days, but certainly accurate now.
Oh, yeah, the earlier days are not so much, but yeah, now it's all waifus. Even the husbandos are waifus.
Registered us for Shadow of Death's Hand.
Okay, this is probably not going to be a bad thing. But anyway, let us take a look at our email, and it comes from our good buddy Ceratus. And it is a wall of text. Hello. So he says, "Dear No Excuses. So here we are in the picturesque Dragonlands, a vibrant place where every third quest has an Aesop about family or friendship. Friendship! Every zone has at least 2 gay couples, yaoi only, where the storyline of the second zone is an exact copy of the High Mountain from Legion. You know, where the warlike tribe accepts the offer of power from the bad guy faction, and this civil war. I barely remember High Mountain, honestly.
I don't remember anything about the Legion quests.
There were mooses there. That's all I remember about it.
I remember the mooses, and there was the war with the mole people or something like that. This is going to be...
There were mole people?
There were mole people or something like that. I forget exactly what they were. But High Mountain was just an absolute snorer of a zone. Where was I? There were the Dryads drooling over the Centaurs, new, more swole model, where we meet Sindragosa again, well, her hologram. She realizes that leaving her lab running for 20,000 years was a mistake, and expansion that channels a lot more Pandaria than Cataclysm. I've not heard, honestly, anything, not necessarily good, but nothing bad about Dragon.
I haven't heard anybody say anything that even comes close to attempting to sell it to me. Like,
yeah.
Outside of like abjectly bad expansions, I have never been so not tempted to return to WoW before. In fact, I'm probably more tempted to return to WoW if it's like really, really, really bad, because I'm sort of curious to watch the world burn. But
so far, the response to Dragonlance that I've been getting has been a resounding meh. Just
yeah, there's an expansion that expanded.
It expanded. The story is expanded largely. Largely, that's a word. He goes on. The main story is kind of meh. Hey, there we go. We help the dragons reactivate their oath stones. Unlike the extremely, really super duper important sigils of Shadowlands, we actually learn what they are for. The side stories have a lot more thought put into them. They have some thought put into them then. We learn a lot about the culture and society of the denizens of the Dragon Isles, up to and including the Gnolls. Spoilers, their culture
Why
and
do we
society...
care?
Because Gnolls, I guess, Hogger. Yeah, spoilers, their culture and society is all about getting more food, and they don't care if their meat is sentient. Alright, I'll have to hold off there because there's a giant angry burb.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't understand why we should care. Like, what is the point of this story?
Yeah.
Like, why is any of the dragons' shenanigans? Why does that matter to us? Why can't they take care of their own business for once?
And more to the point, from what he's described, it just sounds like they're undoing the BS that happened at the end of the Deathwing fight.
Yeah, it's like the dragons lose all their aspect powers, and that's it. They're basically finished now. They're not exactly going to die out, but you know they're not the wardens of whatever they give an aspect of anymore.
Like everybody that was playing at the time was saying this kind of ruins a whole chunk of the lore that hasn't been very deeply explored yet. When they jacked all their powers and just threw them away.
Yeah.
It seems like they're going, oh, whoops, maybe the players were right when they all said that incredibly obvious thing that, you know, however long ago that fight was.
If there's one thing we know about Blizzard for sure, it's that they never think the players are right. Players are always wrong.
Yeah. See what the players are saying? Do the opposite.
Well, maybe that at this point they've had enough time to forget that the players said that.
Maybe?
This tornado coming to eat the whole raid. Oh, yep.
Nom 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 nom.
So once the Beastmaster goes down, I can
Whoops.
burn. You have many stacks of Windburn.
I do. Like, a lot. How did I... Oh, did you just get that many just for going into the end zone for so many?
No, you got tapped by the tornado and you touched the outside. So you got double stacks.
Yeah. I didn't recall getting touched by the tornado, but okay.
No, it wandered through and touched everybody.
Naughty
twice.
Tornado.
The tornado just kind of meanders. It's an always present thing. Paul, are you a ninja?
Yes, I'm a ninja.
Yes.
Is that a problem? I've been a ninja, so this is not new.
I thought you were a mechanist for some reason.
I was a machinist when I came in here, but I changed shortly
Okay.
after, because my Aurelius machinist had hit 80.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So, while we're doing that, spoilers, their culture and society is all about getting more food. They don't care if their meat is sentient. The dragons, as per Warcraft tradition, still don't act like dragons. They act like elves. And elves don't act like elves, they act like humans. Because no one at Blizzard can do world building other than at best, this world would be cool, in quotes.
Yeah, he's put his finger on something that I don't see anybody talk about, which is that there is no difference between any of the races in World of Warcraft.
Not anymore.
They all have the exact same culture. And I think that this is just because they live in California, and Californians think that that's true about the real world.
Everyone is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see this especially getting even worse as Blizzard goes on, as they become more Californianized. Like, you could kind of tell, at least there was a difference between, like, orcs and humans at the very beginning, but you could see them start to mesh and meld as time went on, where their cultures became more and more homogenous.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that this is part of why they're like the central purveyor of like things like, oh, we need to support Ukraine, because they think of Ukraine as being, oh well, it's just like us except it's in a different location on the globe.
Yeah.
No,
they're not.
Ukraine is a hellhole. It's full of evil, corrupt people. It's got more Nazis than any other country on earth. You should not be supporting it unilaterally without thinking.
Yeah, it's certain. Yeah,
Nope.
I'll save it for mostly peaceful. I don't want to go as banned.
Yeah, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
I want to. I want to real bad.
Other than to say we support the current thing.
Ara
No.
still has urges.
We don't.
No, we don't.
We don't. But
We in fact support the opposite of the current thing.
Whatever the current thing is, I don't want to be in support of it because it's usually being promoted by somebody odious.
I don't even know what the current thing is anymore.
You didn't
Yeah.
get the latest patch to
Nope.
NPC programming?
Nope. So,
Okay, Fern, come to the lake.
The latest thing is
Oh,
hating on
like-
the new Harry Potter game.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got that in the
now
news.
That's some shenanigans.
I got that in the news, and we still got half an email.
Yeah.
So it
Carry on.
continues. The dungeons are fine. The raid is okay. The new crafting system is interesting, but ultimately, it's just there to plug gaps in your gear. There have been a lot of quality of life features. The most important being there are no dailies, and the world quest reset every 3.5 days. So you don't have to. What does FOMO mean?
Fear of missing out.
So you don't have fear of missing out about grinding stuff constantly. In fact, very little player power is grindable other than spamming Mythic Plus. Reputation has been turned into renown, so now you have 25 levels to unlock instead of just 5. About 90% of those rewards are butt-ugly cosmetics or toys with a few mounts, pets, or gear, and crafting patterns every now and then. All in all, I'd say the expansion is okay, but unless you really like WoW, there's no reason to come back. Apparently, a lot of people didn't come back, evidenced by the fact that for Christmas, you get a free month of subscription if you bought this expansion. Something that is not part of the standard edition of Dragonflight anymore. In fact, the interest in general seems to be low. Shadowlands had more Twitch viewers without drops than Dragonflight does. I also tried punishing Grey Raven whenever I fight my way past the part where I have 15 different login new player catch-up collab event pop-ups. Am I right about that? Gotcha hellhole next time. Serathis. Thank you for the email, Serathis.
Yeah. So yeah, that's largely what I've been hearing about Dragonflight. I mean, one of my
Yeah,
brothers
I
is
haven't
extremely
investigated
into
it.
lore, but yeah.
I haven't investigated it in any depth, but I've heard rumblings that they have kind of misrepresented its level of popularity because they wanted so bad for it to be a new renaissance after Shadowlands that they just decided that they could will that into being by saying it over and over again, like the way they do everything in California.
Blizzard misrepresenting their population? Never. Ugh. So yeah.
Historically, they just sort of stop talking about it when it's unpleasant, but
Yeah. But
yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's probably a bad thing.
yeah, I think it's safe to say that this might be the end of WoW.
Well, not the end of WoW. It will go into a holding pattern.
It'll
Well,
go
I
into
we'll
want
see
it
the
to be
end.
the end of WoW because I want Blizzard to be over. Like
Yeah.
I want that company to cease to exist. It's sort of it's a blight on its own memory at this point.
Yeah.
I agree, and I would like that too. But realistically, I think the best we can hope for is WoW to enter that phase that MMOs go into, where they get their perpetual amount of players.
I
Yeah.
think that they've actually where they haven't been on decline. I think that they've been there since Frozen Throne. To be honest, like they
Maybe
had a brief bump of stability. They've had a brief bump of increase in stability in MOP, but it's all been downhill from there essentially. Like they're always reclaiming players; they're never really bringing in new people.
Yeah. New people are looking elsewhere these days. They're just not seeing the appeal in WoW. And part of that's because of their abysmal writing, their terrible business practices, and their complete disregard for their customer base, but also because, like, we've seen WoW. People are looking for
Yeah.
something a bit more new.
Well, it's not just that it's a bit more new, it's that they have taken the things in WoW that had charm and then sort of reduced them to the lowest common denominator.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's everything is sort of like a smoothed over and idealized version of what they not sure how to express it because my mentally my model for it is Primaris Marines, right?
Right.
The way Primaris Marine pattern power armor versus classic Space Marine power armor in 40k. Primaris Marine power armor is definitely power armor. It looks like power armor. It behaves like power armor mechanically. It is identifiable as Warhammer 40k Space Marine power armor. But all of the things about it that had, detail and character and charm and nuance and like things about it that made it speak a story that didn't need to be put into words. All of that is gone.
Yeah.
The Primaris Marine armor is like it's had all of the rough edges filed off. All of the indication that you're in a dark age where nobody can do technology anymore, all of that is gone. Everything is just like, oh, well, it's one standard unit power armor. And World of Warcraft is like that. Its fantasy is completely bled dry of all character at this point. It has nothing that it can call its own. It's just, a high fantasy CalArts cartoon in MMO form.
Yeah. They've got a bright spot where they've brought Metzen back, but honestly, I'm thinking it's probably too late at this point.
I don't think Metzen can save it. Like, Metzen's just the coroner at this point.
I think so, yeah. Sort of
Like,
saying, this is all a lost cause, new timeline.
He will be able to identify what they've done wrong, but it's too late for him to save the product, because the people who really, really loved World of Warcraft have been there long enough to see what they did to it. And I don't think that they think it can go back.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. We'll wait and see, because I think... Do we have a BlizzCon this year, actually? Let me have a look. Because they've cancelled the last couple because of... Well, they...
Barry.
What has been banned from the early aughts can they get to play it?
Oh, it's got to be someone really cringeworthy.
Have they done Green Day yet?
This is like the difference really between Final Fantasy, the people who love Final Fantasy 14 and people who love World of Warcraft is like the people who love World of Warcraft, they get their company provides them with what they want by hiring Metallica to play a song or whatever.
Yeah.
At their expo. The FF14 fans are champing at the bit for another chance to see the primals.
Or Socken playing a automaton on stage and almost getting murdered by his co-staff. Whatever comes first.
What I'm saying is that the FF devs are definitely in touch with what the player base likes, and they are the ones calling the shots on how it is both delivered and marketed. And that's just something that's absent from World of Warcraft. And they had the opportunity to go that way. They could have chosen that path if they had decided to, let's say, evolve Elite Tauren Chieftain into an actual thing with talent, as opposed to a kind of a goofy sideshow. Then they could have gone the Primals route.
Yeah,
but they didn't, because the marketing people told them otherwise.
Oh, here we go. BlizzCon hasn't actually put a news article on their website since October 2021.
CE.
Oh no! Yeah.
Even if you say that, we have many friends.
Just push the button. Abandon the friends.
I was hoping not to abandon Finn to his fate, but I decided to in the end.
Not this guy with his nonsense love heart hitboxes.
So yeah, I have finally reached that zen point where I have no feelings towards WoW.
I've kind of reached that.
I have not. I have a great deal of morbid fascination.
I will maybe lean my head over and go, oh yeah, that's a thing. Is it still alive? Kicking?
Yeah. No,
okay.
I still harbor malice toward it. I want to see it suffer.
Honestly, it's more like my interest in WoW at this point is that of a mortician. But let's just take it apart and see what went wrong.
I'm afraid I'm still in the embittered X phase.
Yeah, that's going to hang around for a while.
The less WoW occupies my thoughts, the healthier I feel like my life is.
So yeah, thank you very much for your email, Sarah. I hope you're not suffering too much.
I don't know, he just dived headfirst into the gacha hole again, so...
Oh, yeah, he likes pain.
I really wanted to try punishing Grey Raven, but I felt it would be unhealthy for me to play another gacha. That was legit my thought process.
Yeah, there's a few games out there I wouldn't mind taking another look at, but I don't want to. I've got one gacha game, which is full of waifus and nonsense, and that's enough for me at the moment.
You got Pinecone?
I got Pinecone.
Pinecone is a very low impact gacha, which will be very friendly to you, generally speaking.
Generally, yes.
It's also
if you
Side
want
Games
to get,
Gotcha.
yeah, if you want to really, get deep into it, you can, but I can't recommend it.
No, if there was a gacha game I wanted to get really deep into, I might even go something like Genshin, something like that. If it wasn't.
I think Genshin feels really exploitative to me, and that's
does.
coming from somebody who loves FGO.
Yeah.
Like I feel bad playing Genshin, and which is strange because I love everything about the actual playing process, but I
Here come the
feel
hearts.
actively manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that feeling at all.
It runs
Which is
straight
why I
into
was
the old wall of, oh, you want to keep playing? You've got to give us money or wait for an hour.
The interesting thing was that I thought, because I put a lot of time into Genshin while I was playing it, I thought it would be very hard for me to break free, and it wasn't, and I was very puzzled, because I expected to suffer. I expected it to be really unpleasant. But, can somebody chuck me a heal? I'm confused, I can't do it myself.
I don't have Cure 2 anymore. I put Rampage on to farm stuff.
Disco time. It's the Love Heart Disco.
Oh, I did it wrong.
Yeah, I found it very easy to break away from Genshin, which surprised me. And, after thinking about it, it was because the game made me feel bad when I was playing it. Even though I loved the actual play, I couldn't get away from the feeling of, the looming gacha. Because I think honestly it was the constellation system
Yeah.
that made me never feel comfortable with what I was doing.
Or even if your character is perfectly usable, the fact that its potential can never be met reasonably is always hanging over your head.
It's not even just that, it's that they did not just gate power behind the constellations, they gated mechanics behind the constellations. You were actually playing your character wrong if you hadn't maxed out your constellations. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't cope with that. It was too strange. Oh my goodness, I'm confused again.
Told you, those hitboxes are complete nonsense.
Yeah, they must be, because I didn't even see myself get hit by one. Like, I didn't, as far as I could tell, they never went anywhere near me.
They're just as dumb as the ones in the Auto Tomato raids.
Yeah. We got Bang of the Hounds again. Oh, yeah, okay. You can do Hounds.
But, yeah, that feeling never went away, so I was able to break away from that one, but I don't really want to dive back into that hole.
Yeah.
I've got enough gacha already. I think it'll be fine. I really would like to try Punishing Grey Raven, because everybody raves about it, and like mechanically, like it's a really fun action game to play. Much in the way that people say the same thing about Honkai Third, but you don't want to be involved in that. Honkai Third has the same sorts of issues as Genshin Impact does, being of the same lineage.
Yes.
So yeah. Same sort of things apply to Arknights. Like, Arknights has a really, really well written, in-depth story, even if it's depressing as heck. It's just that you've got to go into the gacha machine.
Down the gacha hole.
Machine.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do another gacha game and actually play it if it's not a Side Games gacha game.
Yeah, like, we've said it before that Pinecone is just extremely generous.
Well, that's Side Games in general, and that's what I mean. That if you just play the game, you can spark whatever the heck you want.
Yeah.
Is there something parallel to that in Shadowverse? Like,
Yeah.
can you always get the rarest cards if you have enough other pulls?
Well, their rates are already good enough that you probably won't have to on their packs. But if you somehow go, like, open 30, I think it's 300 packs, and you don't get a card you want, you can spark it.
That's a lot of packs.
Now, it's a TCG, so it's the least generous of the Side Games ones. But they compensate for it by making their rates high enough that you'll get plenty of SSR cards. Every, 5 packs, you'll get an SSR.
They should at least give us 100 free packs for making that anime.
This guy is still messaging me.
Good lord. Leave us alone.
I will continue to post the chronicles of this guy sending me random stuff.
He just wants a friend.
He does want a friend. I know it's not nice to make fun of him, but yeah.
The chronicles now he's complimenting my outfit, which I will respond to with a thank you.
So anyway, let us look at a bit of news, shall we?
Which bit?
You want to start with the smaller stuff, or do you want to just rip on Wizards of the Coast for the next 10 minutes?
We can knock the small stuff out real quick, because most of it's really small, and I want to touch on one thing specifically.
Touch away.
So the program I use for taking care of GPU software, or taking care of my GPU in general, has been MSI Afterburner forever.
Yep.
As far as I can remember.
Whee.
And somebody's spinning the dog.
The doggo went for a spin.
So MSI Afterburner is apparently made by a guy in Russia.
Oh no, I think I see where this is going.
I didn't know this, but fun facts. And guess what country most of the Western world has sanctions on right now?
Yep.
So, guess who's going to have trouble developing their stuff when they can't get a whole new GPU tech to work with? The guy that makes MSI Afterburner. Remember, he hops twice.
Yep, he hops that way, and then he'll hop that way, and then it's look at the heads.
Yep, stand in the middle. I'll put the Dorito back on my head.
Yeah, I think I've got a good handle of this, how this guy works. The trick is figuring out how the balls aim. You gotta look at which way they're spinning.
Yep. So this is quite the inconvenience for me, because I use MSI Afterburner for my GPU management for everything. I love MSI Afterburner. It's a great piece of software. But yeah, it's just going to have trouble being updated for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
So everybody's engaged in an absurd proxy war for no reason.
Yep. But
mistake.
If people do pull their heads out of their buttocks, oh, I made a mistake almost.
Nope.
I was safe, but then I was not. Apparently.
So you made the mistake. Apparently.
No, well, the server told me I did.
Yeah, well, that's
my computer didn't tell me I did.
But yeah. So I'm gonna have to, I guess, find new GPU managing software, which is unfortunate because MSI Afterburner is great.
I don't manage my GPU. I don't even know what you would do.
Well, you can do things like turn the clock down if you're having issues with some games, or you can
I
go in there.
Don't do that. I just kept my frame rate so the GPU doesn't wig out.
Yeah, there was some wacky issues with some games where Final Fantasy was actually one where overclocking if the GPU had natural overclocking, you could manually underclock it with MSI, and it would solve the problem. And I had this with my 1080. You can go in there, you can set the fan curve way better than you can with the NVIDIA curve system, and it's a much better UI for it. Just small management stuff like that is what I used it for. Though you could go in there and do the full overclocking treatment if you wanted. I never did any of that, but it's there if you want it. Yeah. You can allocate power management and all that fun stuff. I generally didn't mess with that, but for underclocking and for managing the fan curve, yeah, MSI is what I went to. Yeah. Which is unfortunate that I won't be able to use it for that anymore.
Are you still using a motherboard, MSI motherboard, or?
I think I am. Yeah. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. MSI Afterburner worked with anything.
Yeah.
It said MSI Afterburner, but that's just a legacy name. It worked with literally every single GPU on the market.
Is MSI even still involved in it?
I don't think so.
Wow, okay.
Actually, yeah, they are.
I mean, they obviously they're continuing to license their brand to it, but are they involved in any part of the production? Or is it just all outsourced to this one guy in Russia?
So MSI likely wants to continue to support the software, but has made no statement but they can't directly support it anymore because of political circumstances.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
So, unfortunate. But figured I'd get that PSA out of the way if anybody else uses MSI Afterburner.
So either use an older version or just hold out.
I'll just use the current version. I doubt he's going to update it to a busted version.
No, not intentionally anyway.
So he just won't have the tools to work with every single type of GPU out there anymore.
Yeah.
So, that's the state of the nation on that one. It's sad.
It's sad.
Before we jump into Wizards of the Coast, do you want to make fun of Hogwarts?
Oh,
I
this
do.
has been some gloriously
Or rather-
stupid nonsense.
Well, I want to declare my undying support for Hogwarts.
Yeah. So,
Yes, this game is now public enemy number 1.
So, as you all know, Hogwarts is part of the Harry Pothead universe.
Harry Potter.
And
I wonder how it feels for those people who are mad. Like, is this like finding out archaeological evidence that Moses was a communist or something?
Probably.
Because all the people who are mad about this have never read any other book, apart from maybe Twilight.
Yeah, it'd be Harry Potter and Twilight, and that's it.
man, they must be absolutely, what's it the kids say? Molding now?
Molding.
Morbing?
Yeah, I think molding is popular.
Yeah.
at the moment.
Over this one. Because, as we all know, the joke used to be read another book. And then all of a sudden, their beloved author comes out and goes, maybe you need to be born with a taco to be called a woman?
Challenging their ideas? Can't have that.
No, can't have thoughts different than your own. Heresy, they cry.
Heresy.
Evil, they cry.
Really?
Burn her, they cry.
Well, the thing is that it's an indictment of their entire philosophy about the world, which is that they can just define things into existence by declaring it to be so.
They can imagine it hard enough, will it hard enough, redefine the words hard enough, and it will become real. Anything that is not of actual substance, and it will be made real.
Yeah.
But J.K. Rowling said, no, you need a taco to be a woman.
Yeah.
Thing is, she would otherwise be on their side because she's a raging red femme.
Yeah, but
She's also a turf, so.
But yeah, she's a firm believer in the natural beef taco. So,
Ow.
for Absent Friends is up, by the way.
Okay. I'm just going to lay here for a bit. That's fine.
Oh, did you get gotted by the big giant?
Yay. I got guided.
Yeah, he'd do that.
That hit zone is rather deceptive.
It's quite large.
It is very, very large.
So this means the new Harry Potter game that's coming out, which looks okay. Doesn't look like the most amazing game in the world, but looks like whatever open world RPG from a licensed franchise. Okay, we've seen plenty of those, and sometimes they're okay.
Yeah.
Has drawn the Twitter ire bigger than any game in recent memory. And oh boy, are they mad because it's Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling's turf.
Yeah, it's because she
Now,
has a
this is-
different opinion. No.
There's all kinds of icing on this cake. My favorite one being, I'm pretty sure J.K. Rowling had absolutely nothing to do with this game.
No, I don't believe she did. Other than
Yeah,
lending
I
the
think
license.
she still controls the IP, but that's about it.
Yeah, beyond that. So, which little shenanigan would you like to get onto this first? Because there's a few of them.
So, first, this one's not actually listed in the article, but I'll mention it because it was funny.
Okay.
I don't know if it's true or not, but there are screenshots going around of very briefly popping up in the tags for the game on Steam were transphobic
Well, what?
and other silly things like that.
Because I believe in this game you can set your own pronouns.
Yeah,
That's what I've
it's
heard, yes.
it's
It's
got-
entirely as woke as you might expect.
it's body type 1 and 2 game.
Yeah. Oh, no, you don't set your pronouns. You declare if you're a witch or a wizard.
I
Yeah.
see.
which is basically the same thing. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
So this we mentioned last week that somebody at Limited Run was fired in part because they said they were looking forward to playing the game. And
that was that was almost entirely the whole reason they were fired.
Yeah, it turned out that very likely was most of the reason they were fired, because this person that fired them was insane.
Not quite. You've skipped a couple of steps. So the complaint came from Purple Tinker, the founder of BronyCon, who took objection to the fact that this person said they were looking forward to the new Harry Potter game, and dug back through their Twitter profile to find something.
Yeah, I was tepid with it because last week I didn't have very much information, but a bit further digging this week has revealed, they were that insane and did fire them for those reasons.
And so the Purple Tinker dug back to 2016, I believe it was, to find something that was even remotely offensive. And all it was her making expressing a concern that, gender-neutral toilets would be used by pervs. Which, spoiler alert, they were.
Yep. Fern, Metal Box Chaos is up.
Oh, got a press
I
button.
don't remember anything about what this does, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to lose more metal anyway.
Yay, we're going to get smooshed.
So yeah, that's how that went.
Yeah.
And just generally, the Steam discussion page has been a goldmine of comedy.
Incidentally,
people just...
Oh yeah. Incidentally, Limited Run Games is in freefall at the moment.
Oh yeah, people are jumping ship and trying to cancel pre-orders.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, they got to understand, right? The entirety of their user base, the entirety of their customers, are all autistic people who don't want this crap in their video games.
They just want to play Vidya. Just want to play Vidya. That's it.
Well, it's
these
not just
people...
that they just want to play Vidya. These are the people who are so mad about Vidya and Vidya culture that they want to have boxed copies of legacy games.
Yes.
Yeah, or box copies of upcoming games that are digital only. They do some of those.
They do.
Yeah, like
yes.
the only people who are this autistic do not want a bar of this agenda because they need to grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is people that are pretty close to our camp.
Yeah.
And they have just ticked
It is
of them
more
off.
that these are the people who are not at all in our camp, but will be radicalized toward the any camp that these people don't want them to be in, just to get back at them for this sort of interference.
Yeah.
Like your priorities are in the wrong place. You're letting your politics dictate your business. Therefore, you are no longer a fit. You're no longer fit to have control over this market at all. That's the way people are going to act. Simple as that. Yeah, there's a lot of circles on the ground, man.
Yep. So follow the Dorito.
Oh.
That was a lot of pew pew.
Fern, stay with the Dorito.
Where is the Dorito? You're at butt?
I'm at head.
You're at head now.
Okay.
Whose idea was it to give the ninja abilities that root you in place?
Come to the Dorito.
What happened to mobility being a ninja thing?
Stand literally on the Dorito.
Hey, I see it.
Oh.
Okay, they don't give you a whole lot of...
I was a little too far to the left, but yeah, this is another one that leads to a duel and can screw you up.
Yeah.
So stand with the Dorito on the Dorito. Oh, you're really far from the Dorito.
I'm really far from the Dorito. I'm probably gonna get laser beamed. Lasers.
Yeah.
Oh well. So yeah, that's been a whole shenanigan, and I'm not sure how far you want to keep going down this hole.
The question is whether or not we purchase it.
Yeah, this is the question I've come into. Like, I don't really particularly want to support this Vidya, but I do want to kind of stick it in the nose of the Tumblrites that are on Twitter.
Yes, it will make them mad, so maybe I should buy it.
I had honestly no interest in buying this game beforehand because I'm kind of out of Harry Potter. As a kid, I would have probably been all over it, but not now.
But the
Yeah.
way that it's the way that they've tried to characterize the things in Harry Potter is like a lot of them are kind of self-reports.
Yeah.
Like and it's the same as with the movies, right? Yeah, like with the scene in Gringotts is the famous one, right? Where they
Oh man.
That's too slow.
they're like, oh look at it, they put a Star of David on the floor. It's like, you know, they filmed that in a bank,
An
like a real bank.
An actual bank.
It's not our fault that, you know, stereotypes exist for a reason.
No, that's not. The reality is, it's a bank which has a mosaic on the floor. I mean, what are you going to do?
That's it. That's as far as that extends.
I'm
But the thing is that if
my
it
tongue
was
hurts from
anybody,
biting it so hard.
if anybody but them, if anybody but these lunatics had been the ones to make that accusation, they would have been all over it about anti-Semitism. But no, they are making the accusation that somebody else is anti-Semitic. So all of their decision to interpret everything in a manner that is as, you know, stereotypical as possible, it all just comes off as a self-report.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not the ones that said the long noses look like goblins and are goblins. That's what y'all said.
You kind of just did, but never mind that.
I mean, I am saying it on behalf of them because they said it
yeah.
first.
So it's the whole thing's been an absolute circus, and you can start to tell just how crazy some of these people really are.
Yeah, stuff that. Oh boy.
So they've continued to try and poison the Steam tags and so on and so forth.
Seems
All
to be
the
cleaning them out,
usual
thankfully.
petty tactics that they always engage in. But unfortunately, none of their petty tactics have stopped it from becoming the most wishlisted game on Steam.
Yes.
Yeah, and so it is hilarious that I was not going to give this game 2 looks before this mess started.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't going to give it one look, but
It's just like Harry Potter.
now I know that if it's horribly successful, somebody's going to have a conniption fit.
Now we are actively sitting here going, should we buy it just to tick these people off? Congratulations, you played yourself.
The purchase decision these days is about like, oh well, how do I allocate my time? It's not really that I have so little finances that I can only afford to buy one game a year or anything like that. I'm not a child anymore. It's more, oh well, what will be worth me spending time on? However, even if I don't really get round to investing myself fully in this game, it still will have been worth it because somebody will be really mad that I bought it.
Yeah, at the same time, I don't want to encourage the practices that the woke tards making this game are pushing. Like, but it's gonna make these people so mad.
I'm sort of wondering like how the people developing it feel though, because I'm sure they're all woke as heck, and they never asked for this, and now they're caught between a rock and a hard place because of the philosophy that they adopted.
Oh, this is the audience you groomed.
I can't help but wonder, like, are they going to try and sabotage their own game because they're that ideological? Is that going to happen?
It's
I don't
happened
know.
before. So, I don't know. I was going to press a tank cooldown button or two here.
No, you have to stand in the circle or you get whopped.
Okay.
You take no damage if you stand in the stack up for that one.
Oh, okay. That's alright then.
Yeah, he's special. He's over. He's gonna run away now.
Bye.
Come back here, you coward!
Yep, somebody's actually doing it, and the flames went higher. We can go see if they do it.
Dun, dun, dun,
Well, actually, it won't matter. We only got 33
No way.
minutes on the instance timer.
Oh, no. Actually. Alright, so that's that shenanigan. Honestly, I think... when does it actually come out?
It comes out February 10th.
Okay, so you got a month.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to pull the trigger on it yet, of course. I'll wait and see how things play out. Maybe everything will die down. Maybe it won't.
Maybe it won't.
But, yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. And I'm really interested to see how well the game does and how well it turns out as a product as well. Because if they just decide to knuckle down and make a great product and lots of people buy it, The tears will be delicious.
Oh, yes. Delicious tears.
Oh, this guy's doing it legit too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, don't.
Oh,
don't
there's
fuck
a
that one
large
up.
flaming gentleman.
Oh, don't fuck that one up.
He is the Bernie Man.
Is he asking for your financial support?
Probably.
Okay, he's gonna do flashback. You're gonna get knocked back. Be sure you go to the safe corner. Yep, you're in a good position. You gotta dodge the first one, I think. No, you're good. Now quickly move. Oh no, that's the one after that one. Oh, there you go.
Uh-oh. That's
Oh, he's
alarming.
okay. That's okay. That's what you want.
This
He's
No.
doing it.
I'm just
Oh.
fighting a dragon over the side here while I'm watching it, and yeah, the big zones extending outside the arena is alarming. Oh, hello.
This fireman is very swole.
He is an
gotta be
incredibly
tiny.
small fireman. He's
Does he
tiny.
have a met? Is he gonna try and do the precast Medica? Is he gonna try and do the precast Asuna? Ooh, he took a hit from it. Oh man, that hurts. You can't take that thing. Takes like every second. It feels like it'll kill you. He's doing this without med kits. This guy's brave.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Maybe.
No, he's fine.
He's
He's
okay.
got it. If he does the Phoenixes right, he's got this.
Yeah.
All right, just gotta do one more Phoenix phase, and I think he's got it.
Chickens.
Does he have Mana Wall? Or is he just gonna eat it with a revive?
Oh, he man
Yep, that's right. He did that right. I just gotta quickly get out of the way of that. All right, he did it. Good
He's
job.
got it.
That's the hardest part of the fight. He's got it.
You have to have it pop you up and then go to a safe corner. Is it?
You have to Mana Wall so the Phoenixes don't knock you back, but do knock you up, and not one-shot you.
He's swole again.
That's okay. He's only got to eat one Flaming Rain.
Ew, he's pulsating.
He got him.
There you go. All right.
That's how that fight's supposed to be done for people watching it. It's actually not as hard as it looks. You saw the hardest part of the fight there, where you have to Mana Wall to be popped up to dodge the second wave of Phoenixes, which has no safe zone.
Yeah. All right. We shall now commence to pee upon Wizard of the Coast.
Yep.
As let's face it, everyone's doing it. Literally everyone.
Why they gotta be such scumbags, man?
Yeah.
They didn't have to do this.
So.
Well, there is a lot of news for this. Unfortunately, a lot of it is just like they lying.
They lie. Well, they are lying. So.
All right. So how do we want to approach this?
Quick recap is Blizzards of the Coast, quote unquote, had a leak of their new a take on the open gaming license, which is, oh boy, yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. It basically gives them free reign to steal content and steal money. However, there's been a bit of an update on that. Let's start off, I think, with WotC's official response, which took them till the last second to actually put out. I actually need to find it again because I have not watched it. The thing is they've actually started just to hide the response as well. They've taken it off their Facebook page.
It's not surprising. The response was taken almost as well as the initial announcement.
Yeah.
Because it was just a bunch of corpo speak that is just all lies.
Yeah. Yup. Lies.
So,
Let me think. I think I've got it here. I'll just make sure this site's actually going to work because a lot of the sites reporting on this stuff at the moment are getting hammered to an unbelievable degree. Oh, hey, I can rank up.
for those that to recap a bit more thoroughly, while
Please
Fern
do.
digs that up. The new license coming out says retroactively they can come in and claim copyright on whatever they now feel is copyrightable, and take your product for themselves, and take any profits that they want for themselves.
Basically, yeah.
Pretty much.
Here it is.
And this also applies to all things going forward.
All right, shall I just go through this whole thing because we can just pick apart the lies as we go?
Sure. Can you post it in show host so we can all read it?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Let me just do that. Alright, so they responded, and yeah, they waited to the absolute last available minute to do, because the license they put out was scheduled to go live on Friday the 13th, and be fully active at that point. Yeah, it's not, thankfully. So, they say, when we initially conceived of revising the OGL, it was with 3 major goals in mind. First, we wanted the ability to prevent the use of D&D content from being included in hateful and discriminatory products. First and foremost, deploy the woke shield. Is what they've done there, or the woke screen.
It's more that they are arrogating to themselves the ability to determine what is considered good and what is considered bad.
Yeah, there's also a few...
That's the actual important part there. Is that implicitly in that is that we want the ability to prevent anybody we don't like from using D&D content.
Yeah. There's also a handful of commentators out there who I've actually seen them over the last week. They read that far and stopped. Because they said, oh, it's for discrimination. Okay, that's fine. Blah, 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 blah. No. These people have all...
I can't imagine how there could be people that dumb.
I know at least one of them had his friends all surround him, basically say, no, sit down, read it. Yeah, no one listens to that guy at the best of times, actually. He does decent builds, though. Also, this is also a lie, because the current OGL also allows for this provision. It's basically saying that the holder of the content can refuse use of it for, illegal or unsavory use, or whatever. I'm not sure exactly how it's phrased, but basically it's in there already. Second, we wanted to address those attempting to use D&D in Web3, blockchain games, and NFTs by making clear that OGL content is limited to tabletop role-playing content like campagons, modules, and supplements. This is also a lie. You know how this is a lie? Because Hasbro has proposed the use of D&D content in NFTs and is currently using Transformers content in NFTs. So, yeah, the only people who have looked at using D&D content for Web3 is Hasbro.
I'm absolutely incredulous people still think NFTs are a thing.
Yeah, no one takes NFTs seriously anymore. They're basically dead now. There's still a few holdouts, and there's still a few idiots who are still buying into them, but...
Well, the reason that they're dead is because nobody took NFTs seriously to begin with, except idiots.
Yes. And those people who did ended up losing a lot of money.
They are just stupid enough that the pencil pushers in accounting and marketing will fall for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. And that's why they're hanging around with some companies.
But my apes...
I gotta get my apes.
Didn't What's-His-Nuts lose like hundreds of thousands of dollars when his apes got stolen?
Seth Rogen, yes.
I don't know what his nuts are.
Yeah, Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen? No, Seth Green. Sorry, wrong Seth.
That's it.
He was actually queuing up to use his apes in a TV show of his own creation until they got stolen because there's absolutely no guarantee of ownership on the blockchain. Because basically whoever has the token in their wallet owns it. That's how the blockchain goes.
Is Seth Rogen the guy who automatically accuses you of anti-Semitism if you disagree with him?
There's a few of those.
There's a lot of people like that.
I've got a bunch of banners. Okay, that's handy. So yeah, we'll keep moving on because this is a fairly long, blustery, pointless exercise. And third, we want to ensure the OGL is for the content creator, the homebrewer, the aspiring designer, our players, and the community, not major corporations to use for their own commercial and promotional use purposes. Here's the irony. The major corporation in this case is Hasbro. So
Does Hasbro own Wizards of the Coast?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Very yes.
Making sure that I had my companies right.
The companies they're talking about in particular here are Critical Role and Paizo. Both of which are well beyond their actual reach. Critical Role, we'll come back to them in a later though.
Both notorious hate groups as well, I'm sure.
Well, probably. But I know the Critical Role fandom certainly is.
Yeah, but they mainly hate each other.
They do, and themselves. They just hate. Good Lord, they hate. But yeah, basically both companies, as well as a bunch of independent Kickstarters, like Hit Point Press, who basically started in a bedroom and built a company from there, make millions of dollars by selling supplements and content based on D&D, which is perfectly legal under the OpenGL. It's also perfectly legal in other ways, but we'll come back to that later. Alright, where was I? Driving the goals with two simple principles. One, our job is to be good stewards of the game. Okay, that's enough time for uproarious laughter. The OGL exists for the benefit of the fans. Nothing about these principles has wavered for a second. Aha.
Well, nothing about those principles have wavered for a second, but the principles aren't the ones that they said they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is why our early drafts of the new OGL included the provisions they did. That draft language was provided to content creators and publishers, so their feedback would be considered with it before anything was finalized. In addition, the language...
That isn't how this works.
No. Because if they were actually asking for feedback, they would have been asking for feedback. They would not, however, have sent out...
You don't beta test your licensing by sending it out to people and going, hey, what you think, as a parent company that owns the franchise or product.
They didn't do that.
I keep saying nobody could be this dumb. Like, people... I'm astonished that there's anybody who would actually believe that. But, I mean, I know there's not really any limits to human stupidity, but...
We've all seen the leaks. We also know that you tucked in dates, NDAs, and signable contracts with those contracts you sent out. That is
if
not
you aren't going to
opinion.
respect us enough... If you aren't going to respect us enough not to try and steal from us, you could at least respect us enough to tell a lie that's somewhat believable.
Yeah.
At least put some effort into it.
Yeah. In addition to a language allowing us to address discriminating and hateful conduct, there's the woke screen again, and clarifying what types of products the OGL covers, they didn't really do that. They just kind of threw a blanket over everything, really. Our draft included royalty language designed to apply to large corporations. No, it applied to everyone, and $750,000 is not a large corporation. That is a successful Kickstarter.
That's a small business's gross revenue.
Basically, anyone wanting to make a major module for D&D will end up kickstarting around $1 million, and most of that goes into production costs.
In U.S. money, to put in perspective, those outside the U.S., what $750,000 is. That is, if you made that in profit, you would have a very successful small business.
Yes.
That's what we're talking here. And when I say small, I mean less than 8 employees.
Yes. The other point of this is they were asking for the gross income, not from net.
Gross is just what all the money that came in. So, my company of 2 people made more than that in gross.
Uh-huh.
Because product costs are a thing, and you subtract that from the gross to get your profit.
Yep. So, when you bring it back to the Kickstarter analogy, and I'm going to use their actual numbers because Kickstarter negotiated their royalties down just for their platform. I'm not sure how they managed to do that. But a successful Kickstarter of $1 million will get everyone their copies. It'll get it produced. It might even get a few into stores somewhere if you've got enough left over. Maybe a little bit of profit for the people making it. Suddenly, you're knocking $200,000 out of that. You now have a failed Kickstarter. Because you will not be able to produce enough content or material to meet the demand.
And we gotta talk about material costs here in the U.S. and how radically they're increasing. The cost for this crap is going way up. As somebody that deals with the raw materials that have to go into constructing stuff, just your raw amounts of plastic, steels, fiberglass, etc., all that crap has about doubled in price.
Yeah. Anyway, we need to keep moving because there's still a lot of piffle to go.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, our drafts include royalty language designed to apply to large corporations attempting to use OGL content. It was never our intent to impact the vast majority of the community. Bull. However, it's clear from our reaction that we rolled a 1.
Oh, how quaint.
How quaint.
How cute.
Rolling a 1
Except none
implies...
of this was left to chance.
Yeah, that's exactly what
This
it
was
means.
all deliberate actions. What you did was you had tried to RP your way past the DM, and the DM said, nah.
Nah. Yeah, this isn't rolled a 1 and failed on something that would otherwise potentially succeed. This is, flipping the table over and setting the book on fire.
This is where Shad looks at you and goes, lose 50 experience.
Your character is just dead.
Like, this is some Darkness Rising level fail here.
Yeah.
This is where one of your party members tries to backsass the god of death.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what you're expecting to happen up here, really.
You are currently Flynn the Bard, taking a life, and having to whip out a new character sheet.
Yeah. Just that character sheet, just rip it up. That was too stupid. You're dead.
Hide behind the pile of dead bards.
Oh, that's actually a viable strategy if you have enough dead bards on hand.
And you need to watch Darkness Rising if you haven't. Incidentally, would now be able to be stolen by this same policy that we're talking about.
Yes. It has become clear that it is no longer possible to fully achieve all 3 goals while staying true to our principles, except the current laws already do. So here's what we're doing. The next OGL will contain the provisions that allow us to protect and cultivate the inclusive environment. Wah, wah. We are trying to build and specify that it covers only content for TTRPGs. That means other expressions such as educational, charitable campaigns, live streams, cosplay, virtual tabletop uses, etc. will remain unaffected by any OGL updates. Content already listed under 1.0a will remain unaffected. Okay. 1.0a also already covers educational, charitable, stuff like that.
Incidentally, is it actually legal to create an open license and then when people using it turn out successful, then change the license to make you the owner of that thing? Because that doesn't sound legit at all.
That's the big argument happening at the moment.
Here's what would happen. Number one, that's never happened as far as I know for creative content in the U.S. If it has, I'm positive it has been settled in court so that, no, you made a contract with these people. The original OpenGL would stand as the initial contract, and you cannot just change the contract without the other party's consent. That would seem to be the same ruling from the court. And I can almost guarantee that's what it is on the books if we were to dig through court history, if precedent exists. If it doesn't, that's almost certainly how any judge would view it.
Yeah.
And this has no partisan leaning, so you wouldn't have to worry about the judge being too crooked in it unless he was on the monetary take.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's already covered in the current OpenGL. That's fine. It will not contain is any royalty structure because they got caught with their dick in the cookie jar. So, yeah. That was never going to fly. And I think the first person who stood up with a sufficiently, educated lawyer, like first week out of college, would have been able to contest any sort of royalty claim.
Yeah. Anybody could take this to court and say, hey, under this agreement that we have been working under for years, we produce this content, we're allowed to profit off of it. They have suddenly changed it, and the contract has now been changed without our consent.
Yep.
And they're trying to take our money.
There is other reasons again, but we'll come back to that after this, because I did a bit more digging. Royalty structure. It will also not include the license back provision that some people were afraid was a means for us to steal work. That thought never crossed our minds.
Lies.
it was the
No!
only thought you had. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was entirely the reason that was there and worded the way it was. Under any new...
Even if they didn't want to steal the work, they could still, this could still be true, but it's not really about whether they steal the work or not, because they don't need to. They don't need to steal people's work to make money. What they want is the leverage that being able to do that at any time would give them.
Yes.
Yeah, they wanted the possibility open.
So they may have never thought about actually stealing work, but they wanted everybody to know that they could.
Yeah. It was worded also vaguely enough that they could take, under this contract, any part of the work. There was no restrictions. There was no conditions or anything like that. It was just use your
basically
material.
for their creatively bankrupt writers to steal ideas that they think are going to work in their product.
Yes.
It's not all about stealing the product wholesale. It's just, oh, well, I mean, I can't be bothered working today. Let's just Google what's popular on Kickstarter right now and steal those.
Yes, like, oh, you've got Jim the Wizard. Oh, here's Bob the Wizard. He's the same character with a slightly different hat. No, he's not yours. We own it. Get out.
It's like the DeviantArt OCs.
Yeah, basically. Donut steal.
Except on DeviantArt, they would all be Sonic for some reason.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They would all be some hedgehog original idea. Do not steal.
Under the new OGL, you will own the content you create. We won't. Okay. One niggle here is the OGL they put forward never said you wouldn't actually own it. They would just be able to use it. But they also wouldn't have to pay you any sort of licensing credit or royalties. So, is there really any difference?
It's essentially like they could recreate down to the last atom what you had made and sell it as their own.
Yes.
And it would just be them using it.
Yeah. You'd still own it, but they'd be the ones making all the money off it.
Well, they'd be owning their exact clone.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that you could make Jim the Wizard leader of the Purple Drink Company, and if Wizard of the Coast liked it enough, they could just make Jim the Wizard owner of the Purple Drink Company and market it under their stuff and put out their own official Jim figurines and just make money off of your character that you made.
We probably shouldn't use Jim the Wizard. There's already a Jim the Wizard.
Yeah, and that's already owned by WotC.
Well, no, he's not.
I bet he is.
WotC paid zero money to Penny Arcade, apparently.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I bet that they own it.
They've got their tentacles in there somewhere.
Because their lawyers are more expensive than Penny Arcade's lawyers.
Yeah, Penny
so
Arcade's...
that's the way the contract would have been drawn up.
Looks like Penny Arcade's flipping them the bird at the moment too, so there's that. They're being a bit more delicate about it than others, but yeah, they've put their objections up. Where was I? We want... Any language we put down will be crystal clear and unequivocal on this point. It had better be. You notice one thing they haven't said in here, and that is that they are not going to proceed. They are still insisting on proceeding with this farce.
Yeah, they're still insisting on revising the OpenGL.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. The thing that they never actually explain in all of this kerfuffle is what their justification is for doing any of this to begin with.
Yeah.
We want to continue to X, Y, and Z. Well, if it's a continuation, then you didn't actually need to do anything, did you?
Yeah.
Because it's clearly already happening.
The open license already works on that. It's a very simple document as far as legalese goes.
And
well, that's what you want from open licenses. If they're complicated, that just means somebody's trying to sneak something in.
Yeah. Furthermore, this is an entirely new OpenGL, not a revised GL, where you're taking the old one and just tweaking a little bit of the language or adding a new clause.
Yeah.
You're rewriting the whole dang thing.
They can't keep their language straight, actually, because they up until after this, they were referring to it both as 1.1 and 2.0. It is now just 2.0. Where was I? I gotta find the points. The license-backed language was intended to protect us and our partners from creators who incorrectly allege that we steal their work simply because of coincidental similarities.
So we're going to make it ours so that we can't be accused of having stolen it.
Yes, yes. Except doesn't Creative Commons already cover that?
Creative Commons doesn't necessarily apply in all times and all places.
Yeah.
And in this case, where an IP is involved, it's a little murkier.
It starts getting murkier, yeah. So, I'm pretty sure there are already protections in place for that.
Well, this reads more to me like WotC saying, "Oh, well, I mean, it's not like we're really stealing your patented, Bubba Jubba the Barbarian and making this totally not Bubba Jubba. It's just a coincidence. You can't say we stole him from you."
Bubba Jubba's
That's what
redneck
it
barbarian.
seemed like it seems like that's what they were saying before. Like, you can't say we stole it from you, even though we have the exact same character with a slightly different name in our next module.
Yeah. He's got a blue trucker hat instead of a red one.
Yeah, like, this just reads as them trying to cover their butt because they were actually going to steal your ideas without crediting you already.
But that hasn't been an issue before.
Yeah.
Like, people have been very respectful of the boundaries.
Yeah.
And if you do actually put out a bit of content that was close enough to what's his stuff in the past, they could sue you. Hasbro has never been shy about suing.
I meant this backwards. I meant WotC stealing from the creators.
Oh yeah, I know.
This is them giving them. This appears to be them giving themselves cover to let them steal from the creators and call it a coincidence.
But no, we just want to cover our asses. We just want to protect ourselves.
Yeah. Sure.
As we
Totally
continue,
not just you trying to steal from the fans.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is that when has anybody ever stolen something from Wizards of the Coast? Like, this just seems like they want to make it murky whether or not anything done under the open game license is stealing or not.
Yeah.
Because like now everybody will have to wonder.
Yep.
So, would that be counted as stealing? Because there's an open license, but if nobody really understands whether the boundaries on that are, then they're going to have to, be more leery about how they release a competing product because they don't know when they're going to get lawfared against.
Yeah.
And given it's Hasbro, the lawfare will begin. Where were we? As we continue to invest in the game that we love and move forward with our partnerships in film, television, digital games, that risk is simply too great to ignore. They're just salty because Critical Role actually made a successful TV show that people watched.
But my Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah, there is one coming out. I found out. I didn't know about it until this fiasco started. I had no idea a terrible movie was coming out.
I knew it was coming.
But a terrible movie's coming out.
I remember hearing about it. I didn't know anything about it.
I'm expecting it to be just awful.
At least it's not a Netflix series.
I think there is a Netflix series or something along that caliber in the works as well.
From the box art or the poster, you could convince me it was made by U-Bowl.
Yeah.
Or a high school drama club.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad.
That would actually be better.
I would take the production staff of Darkness Rising
Incidentally,
over whatever the heck they put out.
Horror movie.
Darkness Rising is very well loved, so.
Yeah. Also, if you want a horror movie done by a high school drama club, Llamageddon. Go watch it. It's tremendously awful and fantastic before it. It's
Does it involve llamas?
It does. Murder llamas. Alien murder llamas. They apparently lay eggs. Don't ask questions.
All right. Just sit through the rest of it and we'll comment on it as a chunk so we don't spend forever going through it.
Yeah, otherwise we'll be here all day. The new OGL will contain provisions that address that risk, but we'll do it without a license back and without suggesting that we have the rights to content you create. Your ideas and imagination are what makes this game special, and that belongs to you. Yes, WotC, not you.
Yes, we will no longer suggest it. We will tell you.
Yes, we're just going to take it. A couple of last thoughts. First, we won't be able to release the new OGL today because we need to make sure we get it right, but it is coming. So we're not backing down. They're still going to do something incredibly stupid and cringeworthy. Second, you're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. Those people will only be half right. They won, and so did we.
No.
No,
The reason
no.
why you're saying this is because you know you lost.
Yeah, you just sit
That's why
there.
you're able to frame this exactly the way that people are going to say it, because you know that it's true.
Yeah,
You don't have to issue a corpo response unless you're on the back foot, Watsy. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, you could have just ignored all this. If you were in the right, could have just ignored all this, and it would have had no effect whatsoever.
Yeah, you just sit there in the corner behind your everything-proof shield and wait till Mummy comes and pick you up. You lost, Watsy. Or no, I'm not even going to say that because it's still going on and it's going to continue going on.
They will try to get sucker punch him, but the financial callings in about 3 quarters from now will tell us whether they really want to lost.
Yeah, but that's the whole reason behind this incredibly sappy and cringeworthy line is because they want people to think it's over, and they're kind of banking on people like thinking it's over and going away.
Yeah, they're going to lie low for 6 months, and then they'll be back to do the exact same thing.
I wouldn't even give them 6 months. I'll give them 1.
Yeah, they are hoping this fiasco goes away.
Yeah, and
But the thing is that what I hear from all of this is them setting up as though they're doing everybody a favor.
yes,
Well, actually, we were entitled to do all this, but because we're nice, we won't.
yeah. Hang on,
Mm,
it
yeah.
still gets worse.
I can see that part.
Our plan was always to solicit the input of our community before any update to the OGL. No, it wasn't. The draft you've seen wasn't a draft. We're attempting to do just that. We want to always delight the fans, money, and create experience together that everyone loves and gives us money for. We realize...
Wait. So, the draft that was leaked was always supposed to come out to the fans, and you were supposed to collect their feedback in the time span of a week
Yes.
and decide whether to go through on your hard deadline Friday the 13th open GL drop.
Yes, that one. You know, the one wrapped in NDAs and licenses saying sign now.
That's why I told you that it's just lies. That's why when I posted it in our show host channel, I introduced it by saying, "Here, have some lies."
Yes.
Because everything
Getting through
that they're
this
saying
thing.
is just a bald-faced lie. They aren't even telling us a believable lie.
No, it's just completely blatant, and not a single commentator or anyone has believed a single word of this. Everyone's alarms are going off, and that alarm is going bullshit. Where are we? We realised we did not do that this time, and we are sorry for that. Our goal was to get exactly the type of feedback on which provisions worked and which didn't, which we ultimately got from you. Any change this major could only have been done well if we were willing to take that feedback.
What you actually got was an absolute bollocking from everybody who buys your products, and everybody unsubscribed from your online service.
Yes, because that's where you were apparently listening to. Oh, I gotta use a... Really? Oh, because it doesn't like caps. Why are you context sensitive? Case sensitive. There we go. Alright.
You got 2 more sentences for him.
2 more sentences. Thank you for caring enough to let us know that what works and what doesn't, what you need and what scares you. No one's scared here.
That is the
Oh,
worst
that's good.
language. Yeah, that is the worst language you could use in a PR statement.
Incredibly
Yes.
condescending.
Unbelievably condescending.
That I know it's a PR jargon, and somebody had to slip up, and I'm still mad they used it.
Yeah. Without knowing that, we can't do our part to make the OGL match our principles. I don't know. I think this one you put out does a pretty good job of that. Finally, we'd appreciate the chance to make this right. We love D&D's devoted players and creators to take them on so many incredible adventures. We won't let you down. Too late.
Letting people down is basically all they ever do.
So, yeah.
We don't exactly have high expectations of you, Watsy, so it's kind of hard for you to let us down. At this
Basically,
point,
they should probably just shut up and stay under their rock.
Yeah.
yeah, if
Basically-
you let things persist, you will continue to make money at a steady clop.
Yeah. The best thing they could have done is put up their hands and said, okay, we were wrong. We're going to go back in our hole now. And just take the L.
Yeah, well, that probably would have washed with most people.
Yeah.
Most people would probably be able to to convince themselves that it was real contrition, even though it blatantly wouldn't be.
Yeah, because they would
But,
would have popped their head out of their hole again in a few months' time to try it again.
But instead, they have this unbelievably patronising pack of codswallop to deliver to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Those last two paragraphs, though,
Oh yeah.
just they physically hurt to read in the company PR press statement.
This is what they actually think of you. They think you're a little boo-boo baby. So, yeah.
This I can't think of much worse you could say in a press
Well,
statement. to a
I know
disaster
why
like
they
this.
said it that way, and it's because they think, and because internally, you know what they were saying to each other is that, oh, these stupid fans are always crying about everything, always bawling, we're so scared of everything, can't handle it. Like the way that they talk about fans internally is so revoltingly condescending that they can't help but let it bleed out into their statement. They just can't help themselves.
Yeah, we've got an email from that's been going around the internets, basically confirming everything like that. And it's not the only one. Apparently, there's a few other staff members who are starting to really blow whistles as well. But it does I'm not going to read it because we just read one big long block of text. But yeah, it spells out that WotC does not give a flying fornication about anything the community has to say, other than giving money. They want your money. You're in the way.
Yeah. Unfortunately, what they fail to realize is that money is attached to people, and then people are attached to your product. And if you make your product unusable by them people, they ain't gonna want to buy your product no more.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a few things they're trying to stop, I think, with this, and one of them is they don't want another Paizo. They've just created another Paizo, essentially. Several, probably. But,
Yeah, well, they gave everybody the motivation. Everybody who was just resting on their laurels and sitting around waiting for somebody else to do it now decided that, well, the time is right. We need to get this out there.
yeah.
Yeah. This is the time where if somebody hits gold, they could take it off and run with it.
Yep. Like Paizo did during the 4E days. So we got, actually, speaking of Paizo, we got their response. And long story short is basically because, well, they're going to destroy the OGL. We're going to make our own with Blackjack and Hookers.
We don't actually have their OGL yet.
No, it's still in a draft, but it's Paizo and a bunch of other larger content creators who are all working together on it.
While Paizo is better than WotC for the moment, marginally, they are still just as crazy and woke of a company.
Yeah.
I don't particularly feel sanguine about supporting Paizo.
Yeah,
but,
at least they keep it under their hat occasionally.
Have you seen their cover of the banner image they're using for their announcement here?
That's Senna. She's actually kind of a cool character. I like her.
Yeah, it's looks ugly to me.
She's a paladin who likes to yell a lot.
I see.
She is a very shouty woman.
Anyway,
So I don't mind that.
But,
That's fine.
in the absence of a viable competitor for the moment, although there's nothing to say one won't crop up very soon, with everybody and their mother deciding now is the time to try and make your own thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. Go for it. We'll see what their OpenGL says.
Yeah, like don't get too carried away on it because yeah, okay, they've got the lawyers who did the original license, and they've got some of the people who are basically running Paizo these days who are also there at the time. But yeah, just don't get too carried away on that just yet. But ultimately what they're going to do is they're going to draw this thing up, and then they're going to give it to a third party to hold it. And that way no one can touch it, and everyone who wants to use it can just sign on to it. Which, yeah, is basically the Linux approach.
Yeah.
There is
Makes
actually,
sense.
yeah, there is rumors that they're going to use the same. I'm not sure if it's a company or non-profit, whatever, that Linux uses to hold their contract.
The main kicker here will be the contents of whatever they put in it. and
Yeah.
we'll have to wait for them to fully compose their OpenGL before we can really dive into that part. But
Yeah.
just know that's moving in the background because I don't want to really spend too much time on that.
Yeah, it'll probably be a little while before we see that. Because it's all
Yeah.
lawyery and all that stuff. But yeah, to their credit, Paizo's, they made a move that should, hopefully anyway, as long as they don't screw it up, make everyone happy, and then they're going to keep their grubby fingers off it because they don't trust themselves.
Yeah. So we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, this I can't get over this statement. I had skimmed it before, but I hadn't really paid attention to those last two paragraphs from WotC.
Yeah. The biggest,
Oh man, that hurts.
the biggest takeaway you've got to remember as well is they cannot copyright game mechanics. They can copyright terms and phrasing, but they can't copyright the mechanic itself.
Yeah, they can't copyright rolling a generic dice. They can't copyright stuff like that.
No.
It gets really kind of murky in this territory. We've seen this kind of battle go down before, like when everything in video games got litigated. Like every company has tried to copyright some wacky part of their UI. There was even one lawsuit that tried to copyright the mini map.
Yeah, that didn't go anywhere, thankfully.
Well, yeah, in most of
Rotating or
these,
non-rotating?
Oh. I'm actually tempted.
but-
Can I copyright the rotating minimap so I can sit on it and not let anyone use it? Ever.
make every mini map locked north.
Yes. That's not how you read a map. Stop it. Orienteer it properly.
Looking at you, Dreadnought.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, they were. If they wanted to copy the mechanics of, say, someone who's made an interesting new mounting system, for example, that works in D&D 5e. On the other side of things, there's nothing stopping Wizards from using that mechanic as well. They could change the names of things and change the terminology a bit, but the mechanic itself they could have stolen. The OGL, the original OGL, also allowed for that. Because ultimately, in the end, it's for the betterment of the game as a whole. But
What? Yeah.
yeah,
So,
you can't steal like characters, worlds, and things like that. So anyone who's out there who's made content, for example, that works on Forgotten Realms or Eberron or something like that, those people are going to be in real trouble.
yeah. So there's this niggle in the back of my head that there's a way for Wizards of the Coast to get their fingers in the pie that is much more sanguine with the community. You know, if they weren't, modern WotC anyway.
Yeah,
That would get them a whole lot of goodwill for the most part, and generally goes over pretty well with fan bases. And that is, do what Valve does. As the company, approach the content creator that has made content that you like, and offer to bring their stuff into the official fold, and either pay them for the rights to it, or offer to bring them on as part of the team.
yeah. Alternately, set up a system where they basically can use use your name and brand or whatever the system you call it, like I don't know, call it Wizards the Sorcerer program or something like that. I don't know. And they, essentially get an official endorsement and access to your resources.
Yeah,
Make
you
it an
can-
official in-house thing.
Yeah, and license, or you just do a pseudo license out with a individual contract for that content creator whose stuff you like, and go, okay, you can make our stuff under Sorcerers of the Midwest or whatever, and you can
Whoops. Never
we'll
mind
take
that.
it. We'll take a cut, but we'll back you and give you a bit more resources. This is what the sane approach would be
Yeah.
in a world where you wanted goodwill with your customers.
If you really wanted to get ambitious, do attach a crowdfunding element to D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, it's getting a bit on that front. Because
I would stop at just approaching the content creators themselves and offering them some kind of official capacity with the main product.
yeah. But offer them something in exchange.
Yeah, but that requires you to interact with the people you view as goblins on a personal level, which I'm not sure current WotC can do.
Deal with actual people and not just their money? No. Money is pure. People are filthy.
Yeah.
So yeah, the non-apology and their non-backing down. People are calling it that they've backed down. They've given up.
This just means that they need to be a little bit slower, just a skosh.
Sneakier.
Yeah, they need to take their foot off the gas and pump the brakes a bit. They're
Yeah.
going to hope people forget about this, and they're going to try it again.
Yeah, thankfully,
They may try it piecemeal, but they will try to push this through again.
yeah. One of the nastier clauses that was hidden in this their revised OGL is the ability to change the OGL, provided they gave you 30 days to do so. There was no provision in there for actually exiting the OGL or refusing the change, but they could change it, and I suspect that's going to be in the new one, which means everything they backpedal on here could potentially just come back. You'll get 30 days of notice, and that's your lot. Suck it.
So,
So,
not good.
not good. We shall see where things go. Because, yeah, there's a bunch of companies who've stood up and they've just said, okay, we're going to make our own with blackjack and hookers. In some cases, literally
Honestly,
blackjack and hookers.
Honestly, the tabletop scene has had a bit of a problem with D&D as the monolith that it is. And if they just crash and burn from this, that would actually be my favorite outcome from all this. Not solution, but outcome.
D&D's big popularity boost lately has been great for getting more people into the hobby, but I think it needed something to push them outwards now, and this is probably going to do it.
Yeah, I actually, when it comes to tabletop, I don't want an expansive audience. I would like more options for people to play with.
Yes.
But it's one of them things where you need people that really enjoy it and want to play. And you can go fishing in the pond all you want. You ain't going to get that many people that are going to bite because they heard about it because it's got more mainstream appeal now, or it's a little bit more popular. You're only going to get that kind of person playing that has friends that play.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure mass appeal for D&D is something that's actually good for tabletop as a whole.
Well, you look at the Critical Role fandom for an example of where that's not a good thing. But those people are going to stay where they are. Because they want the Matt Mercer Critical Role experience, even though that doesn't exist outside of the very closed garden that is Critical Role itself.
No. No.
No, it does not. It simply does not.
No, you get...
I've never watched any of their content, so I don't know what you're referring to at all.
Basically, people who come into the hobby through Critical Role or something similar, they get this idea of kind of this utopian D&D experience. It's Matt Mercer up there and doing full voices, and he comes in with all this fantastic special stuff and all that. And you end up with a professional, magical experience, I guess. But the problem is everyone in Critical Role is an actor.
Yeah, you're going to get your DM, and they're going to stumble words. They're going to accidentally say something backwards. They're going to accidentally say something as the wrong character. And like, oh, wait, no, that wasn't him that was supposed to say that. Hang on.
Yeah, like my current DM
you'll
constantly gets my character wrong and attributes him to a wrong player because he used to play a kobold in another campaign.
Yeah,
they're going to fuck up.
Yeah, and it happens a lot with just normal language stumbles. They happen all the time in long D&D sessions.
Yeah.
And you just gotta kind of learn to look past
attributing
them.
the wrong nationality of accent to NPCs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Depending on the height of his pants.
Even in sillier games, you'll just in maybe first campaigns, the DM will still lose their mind.
Yeah. You could end up you could just do random things like all the players go off on a half-hour tangent of butt jokes. It happens.
The point of a D&D or any tabletop game is to make sure as many people are having as much fun as possible at the table.
Yes.
And that's if the party wants to go off and pull each other's pants down in the snow for 30 minutes, let them do it.
Let them do it. They get frostbite on their junk. There's your consequence.
And this is going to be nothing like your traditional D&D or tabletop experience.
It happened to Prince Harry.
Probably. But, if your players want to do it and everybody's having fun and you're having fun as the DM, just roll with it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're coming in looking for this highly structured experience, that ain't what tabletop is.
No.
It always goes off the rails, at least a little bit.
It's chaos, it's madness. Sometimes the dice just refuse to cooperate. Sometimes the dice will actually just take your character and run with it in a completely different direction.
Even if you're playing with the fudge system, which limits the dice's impact dramatically, you still have people that just flub their role player, wind up in left field because of weird events that are going on, and the DM is just not on the same wavelength as the other player at that particular moment.
Sometimes the player will have a brain fart, their character will do something weird, and everyone just go like, screw it, roll with it.
Yeah, and this is how memories are made playing tabletop and what makes it fun.
Yeah. The chaos is the point. The fun is the point. Not this professionally produced nonsense.
I do see a lot of people looking for this type of highly structured professionalism that you're talking about nowadays, coming into the hobby. I also see a lot of people that have a passing interest in the hobby. And that, in tabletop especially, a passing interest is damaging to the hobby if you get too many of them. Because what you wind up with is the rotating chair, where you ideally want between 4 to 6 players for a single session for most people. That's about the super ideal number.
Yeah.
And if you have chairs that are constantly rotating, you're always having to teach new people. You're always having to reintroduce characters, get used to how people like to role play, how much of this, what parts of the story do they like? Do you want to focus more on combat because that's what they like? Do you want to focus more on characters because that's what they like? And having rotating chairs makes it very difficult to nail down a balance and keep it and get it consistent.
Yeah.
And this is actually very damaging to the hobby if you have too many just kind of casual people that are just poking at it all at once.
Yeah, it's not so much an issue at private tables, but when you're looking into game stores and things like that, that's where that becomes an issue.
Well, it is a problem at private tables because people will have their friends that heard about it because of like Stranger Things was the big one back when I was DMing.
Still kind of is.
Like, Stranger Things got it big for a while, and people had heard about it and wanted to try it out, and it felt like week after week after week after week after week, I was introducing tabletop to people, and they just wouldn't stick with it. And we just had a rotating chair where I would have to waste upwards of an hour and a half teaching a new guy the basics of tabletop, or girl, as was a couple times.
Yep.
Like, it's you just need, this is a hobby that you need people to stick with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I don't think it dramatically expanding the player base through mainstream appeal is necessarily a good thing.
All right. Was there anything else for this? Because this honestly is happening, evolving by the hour, really. It's like every time you look away, Watsy's done something dumb.
Yeah, I mostly just wanted to make fun of Watsy's statement.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And even I didn't know it was that bad. Holy crap!
Oh yeah, it's bad, and everyone's
it looked bad at a glance.
Everyone is running with either the roll to one thing or the we won thing. We won is being held up as probably the example of just awful corpo speak.
What was the word they used? Scare. That
Scare.
word.
Yeah.
That's the one that just gets me.
Yeah. Oh, you're scared. No, people are not scared. People are pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to set fire to your house. You should be scared of them.
Yes.
Yeah, they want to come for your money-os. That's worse than setting fire to your house.
Yeah. They're going to take their money and they're going to walk away. And
no, they're going to take your money and they're going to walk away.
Well, it's their money at that point. Not Watsy's money. Watsy don't get their.
It's not their money yet. It's not their money. It's not their money until they walk away with it.
Yeah. So yeah, among other things in that email that leaked out from the disgruntled employee, was basically saying, well, the money people are being money people and are only looking at D&D Beyond subscriptions. So everyone and their dog just said, you know what? We're going to cancel our subscriptions. It's trending on Twitter even. And so, yeah. There's been a massive out walking away from D&D Beyond.
Even if I was still playing tabletop, I would not be playing D&D or any type of D&D right now. because as I mentioned before, I moved away from the more mechanical side of role playing in
Yeah.
tabletop to the harder role play side. So
Yeah.
so most of this doesn't affect what I would do in tabletop, but it still hurts seeing the thing that got, I still got into it with 3.5.
yeah.
And 3.5 is where I really solidified with tabletop and sat down and learned.
Yeah. Actually, there was something else, and that was just a little bit of irony they put on there. What was it? The image they used for their apology is a magic card. What was it? I think it was called Bar the Way. And the comment or the flavor text on it was just simply, "This path is closed to you."
Oh, Watsy.
Oh, Watsy, why? Not sure if it was deliberate and if they just wanted to pick a blue background or something like that and just went with whatever was on hand, but yeah.
I've started a Pop-Tart party in the Doman Enclave.
Okay.
Oh, well, that was the other thing in my week I didn't talk about. I got my Pop-Tart.
You did get your Pop-Tart.
It's the Triple Triad card for getting cards 1 through 312.
Let's finish on happy autism news.
Yay.
Yay. So yeah, how many cards are there all up? I know they just added a bunch
300,
more.
Not counting the EX cards or the ones from
The new
new
patch.
Endwalker. There are 312. And you have to get all of them.
There's a lot of cards.
So Shadowbringers and back, except for the EX cards.
Let's see.
EX cards are your lightnings and your clouds and gold saucer exclusive from tournaments and stuff.
I have 54. I have really not looked at Triple Triad cards at all.
There are 373 total cards if you count the EX cards and the Endwalker cards.
Yeah. Does that count
Not
actually
even
count
sure
the
to
pro?
find out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You go to gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go to
I only
gold
have
saucer.
74. I have 74.
So
Yeah.
I've got one EX card, and that's the Noctis card.
Yeah, so that's been going for the past several weeks, month and some change now, I guess.
Months.
I already had a good chunk of them from doing the mount farming back for the doggos and miscellaneous other junk and projects that I've done, and so I had most of the cards from that already. So went through and about every other day would do a dungeon, just grab Abo and 2-man it and run it over and over again or trial or whatever to get the card from it, and until we eventually cleaned them all up.
Yeah. That would have been a hell of a grind if you hadn't already done half of it.
Well, done more than half of it. We went into it only missing like 50 cards. But those 50 cards took us over a month to get, so. But we got our Pop-Tarts. I don't care what people. I know it says Magitech card on it, but it looks like a Pop-Tart.
Yeah. It's yeah.
It's
Anyway.
a Pop-Tart.
It's a Pop-Tart. Shall we start wrapping up? Because, yeah, we've actually had content this week, and it was, a dumpster fire, but still.
Yeah, yeah. It's sad to think about, and I don't really. I feel like it's kind of weird ending talking about it here because I don't feel. None of it feels good.
No, it does not.
But at the same time, I'm not particularly attached to it because I don't use D&D anymore, or I don't really interact with WotC at all anymore.
Yeah.
On a personal level, that is.
I play D&D, but this has really kind of made me want to branch out and try other systems. I always kind of wanted to, but maybe now I might actually be able to convince a group to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, WotC for me is just the Magic Card Company, and they've become evil at that too, so...
Oh yeah, cartoonishly evil again.
Yeah, maybe I'll try putting another Fudge campaign together. I've got a couple ideas for new settings I want to try out.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe I can get you guys, and I could work with a 2-person campaign. If I design it from the ground up to be for 2 people, maybe we can do something for the show as a special or something.
Or something, yeah.
Where's the free time? You've got to write it.
Yeah, that's the real shoe. Is I would have to design a setting from the ground up to be for 2 people,
Yeah.
and still allow you guys plenty of choice on how the story goes. And accounting for that and writing is it's going to take time, but I'll put it on the to-do list. This has kind of inspired me to look at doing that again.
Yeah.
Won't have a lot of time this month, but starting next month, I'll see what I can start putting together and see if I can get any ideas that really, really strike and I can run with.
Yeah, just whenever you got 5 minutes, just start scribbling down ideas.
Yeah. It definitely won't be high fantasy, whatever the setting is, but we'll go for something.
Yeah. I'd like to get away from high fantasy, honestly, and a lot of the main systems are also getting away from high fantasy as well.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of Fudge. I can cram whatever the heck I want.
You can do
in there
whatever
and use
you
it.
want with it, yeah.
Yeah, I can use whatever I want and use just the Fudge dice as a base and make the system from there.
Yeah. That's kind of what Fudge is built around.
Yeah, just see, it is built from the ground up for you to fudge the system as much as you heckin' want.
Yep. What
So,
on earth
we
is
will,
going on here? There is a dying fishman just flopping around. I haven't been really reading the quest text. It's like a Namazu with a diving bell.
Oh, you saved them from extinction again.
Well, they were extinct.
No, you saved them.
Oh.
They almost go extinct, and then you accidentally save them.
I see.
Multiple times.
What is he doing?
Well, I'm doing the Omicron quest.
He's not. It's not a Namazu.
No, it's not. It looks like a
It's just a
Namazu.
Namazu skeleton for the animation. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mind you, I have actually saved these guys from extinction like twice now, so...
Also, while I'm thinking about it, as a closing comment, since we need to start wrapping up,
Yep.
the new Tataru's Adventure story, I did that one. And while I've been pretty mad on the last few, this one was really good. Strong recommendation to go through this one because it's absolutely hilarious.
Okay. I haven't done any of the Tataru stuff. Put it on the list. Put it on the list.
It's all just
pretty long
story.
at this point.
Yeah, it is a long list.
Yeah, you got yourself backed up by like two hours of cutscenes now, but the latest quest was really good. I greatly laughed. Bigly laughing.
Giggly laughing, okay.
No, bigly.
Oh, okay.
I'm intentionally being dumb now because I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, that's the time to wrap up then.
Yeah. All right, y'all got anything?
I'm not going to be here next week because the previous manager clowned up the roster, so there's nobody working on Sunday next week. So I have to go in and work. I'm going to be basically working 7 days a week for the foreseeable future, except I'll be able to do some of it from home. So I will be able to be here most of the time, I think. Can't be sure because reasons. Everything is a mess. But next week is almost certainly out because there's a big catastrophe coming. They need to migrate all of the data on the servers to new hardware.
Oh, no.
And they've decided that they're going to do it by taking the LIMS system. It's redundant. By the information management system offline for the entirety of Saturday the 21st, meaning that nobody will be able to incubate anything, process any samples, read any results in, release any reports or data, etc., etc., etc. Nothing will happen, basically. All of it will be in on paper rather than in the system. And then on Sunday, the Sunday where there is nobody to work, the 2 days of work needs to be done at once the system comes back up.
Oh, joy.
So it's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough weekend. So I'll probably end up spending all day asleep on Monday.
So, yeah, it'll be a 2-person show next week. We'll figure something out.
Yeah. I should be able to start moving my work back into something more normal soon. Assuming, explosions don't happen. There's a lot of jobs that could break soon that are quite big, but
Well, step 1, buy super glue. Step 2, find opossum. Step 3, find a brick wall. Glue him to it.
oh, okay, that's where you're going with this. Yeah, that'll work.
Hey, glue him to the wall. He can't do any damage that way.
Honestly, the less the opossum interferes, the easier my life is.
You just send him down into the poo pits.
He's too old. He can't climb out anymore.
Yeah, what's the problem?
I'll have to deal with the fallout if he can't get out. And I don't want to deal with his wife.
Alrighty. So let's
So,
wrap up,
folks.
shall we?
Yeah, folks. We'll see you next week. Sayonara. Bye-bye.